How's it going, everybody? My name's Jake Thomas.
And I'm Cullen Thomas.
And this is the Crushing Cans podcast channel. Tonight, we are drinking some Vortex IPA. Let's crack these open.
Let's crack it.
Woo-hoo. So before we get into the first fight of the card, I want to talk a little bit about Vortex IPA. I'm actually happy with your selection today because this is one of my favorite beers. I drink this one.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I drink this one regularly when I go to the bars. Me and my best man at my wedding, his name is Caleb. This is one of his favorites as well. So we both really like this kind of beer.
Yeah, when I was at the store trying to pick something out, I'm a big fan of the Fort George Brewing Company.
Mm-hmm.
They make a blonde Hefeweizen, and it's delicious. So I was like, you know what? I don't remember if I've tried Vortex or not. I feel like I probably have, but I figured either way it's going to be a good choice for tonight. So,
yeah, it is. So, like I said before, IPAs are one of my favorite.
Oh, absolutely.
I love it. It comes with the area. And like I said, we're spoiled. So here we are with Vortex, one of my favorite beers. I'm super excited for tonight, and I'm ready to get this thing going.
Yeah, I'm really excited, too. We got one of the... probably one of my favorite fighters right now, favorite up-and-coming fighters, Sugar Sean O'Malley. Not sure I like what he's doing with his hair, but hey, to each their own.
Well, you know what? I think it fits perfectly with his personality. So you look at the way that he dresses, you look at his training videos. He's kind of a modern-day hippie, and he kind of runs at his own race, right? So he's not really doing anything that everybody else does. He just kind of does what he likes to do.
Yeah.
And I really like that. Now, so the key to this fight right here, let's talk about that one. So he's going against Eddie Wineland. Eddie Wineland's been in the UFC forever.
Long time.
He came
a vet.
in. Yeah, he's a vet. He's been here. Gosh, I want to say he came in with the WEC.
Yeah, he was in the WC.
Yeah, so he spent his entire life here. Sugar Sean O'Malley, he's just been in the
Sean
UFC,
O'Malley
right?
was 8 when Eddie Wineland made his pro debut.
See, look at that. We were just talking about it. Isn't that crazy?
It's just like I just saw that pop on the screen, so I had to say something.
It's about to start right here.
For those that aren't watching or haven't seen, right now, Sean O'Malley, he's got some cornrows, and it's dyed the color of the rainbow.
Skittles, baby.
Looking like Marshawn Lynch is about to eat him.
So I'm excited because they both like to strike. Sugar Sean O'Malley, I would say, is a little bit more diverse in his striking. Eddie Wineland's kind of a little bit more of a traditional boxing style. I mean, it's almost more old school traditional boxing. It's not as slick. It's not as, it's not a lot of fancy movements. It's strictly straight technical work. He's going to keep his hands in position, and he's going to throw straight punches, and he's going to put power behind him. What I'm really curious about with Sugar Sean O'Malley is I want to see more people try to wrestle him. In the Ultimate Fighter, or not Ultimate Fighter, on Dana White's Contender Series where he first fought at, he struggled a little bit with the wrestling. He was able to come back and finish the fight with some good strikes, but when he got taken down, he wasn't able to do much down there. I mean, not much was done to him, but he didn't do much either, and I want to see him tested more against these wrestlers. I think Eddie, being a crafty veteran, has the opportunity to wrestle if he really wants to.
Eddie's putting on some good pressure right now, too. Sugar's missed a few head kicks that he's thrown. They kind of just went right over the top, but Eddie's maintaining some good pressure right now.
Sugar's keeping that distance with those body shots, though. Ooh, that was a good overhand right. That's
yep,
that
overhand
traditional
right, just
boxing.
right over the top.
That's that traditional
he's
boxing.
got that John L. Sullivan mustache going on right now, too.
Yes, he does.
Eddie Wineland.
Hey, so did I tell you, Mom traced back a loose connection?
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about that.
She sends me all her stuff. Every time she finds something, she always sends it to me.
Oh, I've been jumping on her. So, for those of you guys who don't know, our mother's maiden name is Sullivan. She's a, what do you call those?
She's a genealogist.
Genealogist, yeah. So, genealogists, they study, like, family trees and stuff, and they do this whole thing where they have your blood tested and stuff like that to see what your ancestry is, and they...
Oh my God!
Ow!
One fucking punch.
Overhand right.
And Eddie just, holy shit. You would think Eddie would have saw that one coming.
Well,
that just, was out of nowhere. Oh, my God. Sugar Sean O'Malley, ladies and gentlemen. Walk-off KO victory, one punch. Didn't even follow it up. He just landed the right and walked away. Wow.
This is exactly what we were talking about, though, with him. He's got some good, like I said, he's got a little bit more diverse striking, and I think that was his advantage in this because if you look at what happened in the fight, Eddie was throwing some technical boxing, but he didn't really do much as far as the kicks. And then you get Sugar Sean O'Malley throwing a wide variety of strikes.
Here it is. Oh, he faked it with that
Boom.
uppercut coming in, faked it, and then went right over the top.
He went straight down like a
Look at that.
stack of potatoes. Boom.
And look, oh man, that's just brutal.
There's no.
Now I picked Sean O'Malley by knockout, so I'm pretty happy. But I think I picked him in round 2.
You know, I didn't make my official pick, so I'm just gonna have to tell you guys on beforehand now. But I did pick Sugar Sean O'Malley. I thought that he would win. Eddie's just a little bit too old. Like I said, he's been in the UFC for a long time. Being a crafty veteran can be a good thing, but can also be a disadvantage, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's, 37, 38 years old, too. So he's been in some wars.
There's only so many wars you can fight. Your body can only take so much.
Your brain's going to take so much before certain things just put you away. So for those that are paying attention and following us right now, go to Tapology.com, register for an account. You can sign up, look for the Crushing Cans podcast, and join the group. That's where we're going to be making all of our official Fight Night picks every week now. Whenever there's a UFC or Bellator event, we will be doing those. We're only going to be doing main card type stuff.
For now.
We won't, not like ONE FC or anything. Once we get a bigger following, maybe get going in there and we get more people that are actually avid MMA fans, we'll probably jump into some other things, but right now it's pretty much only the primetime cards that we'll be doing.
Yeah.
You pulling that up? Let me see if you can pull that up real quick and see if I got my see what my picks are looking like. I have no idea what my picks are looking like right now. I spent pretty much all of the prelims setting everything up.
So, and then the same thing is going on for me right now. I'm kind of building a studio in my place that I live at, so that I have a spot that we can sit down and record and
it's gonna be
do everything
sick when
else.
we're finished.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. So I'm just a little bit behind on that, and I'm trying to find this link. Well, let's be honest, I ain't gonna go.
Just go to Tapology.com real quick. I'll sign that stuff in, but God, dude, I'm excited to see what Sean O'Malley's gonna do. A little bit higher competition. Who do you want to see him fight next?
Well, I think he needs a top 15 guy. He needs to get out there and he needs to challenge himself against a wrestler. So whoever they throw at him, it has to be a wrestler. We've seen what he does against other strikers. He can hang with other strikers. He can hang with other brawlers. But we really haven't seen him tested by a wrestler, like a real wrestler.
See, they're showing you what I just said, too. How he dropped that right hand to fake that uppercut and then comes with the left feint and then just right over the top.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. That variety of strikes is awesome.
So pretty.
So he's a star for sure.
Yeah, that kid,
he's a star for sure.
He's going to be something special.
I mean,
we'll see what he does. I mean, people say the same thing about Conor, you know, and we see what Conor's done. Khabib obviously dominated him, but I mean, who else? Let's see what we got going on here real quick. I'm going to log in on mine real fast.
The big thing is that he's a fan-friendly personality, right? He doesn't come out and try to be fake. He doesn't try to say, oh, you know, I love God and all this stuff, and then turn around and go get in drunk driving accidents and shoot his gun in the air. You know, he is who he is. He does what he says he's going to do, and he acts how he wants to act, and that comes off genuine. And people like that. They like people who are real. One of the biggest problems that they have with a lot of these guys is that they feel like their whole act, their whole performance is fake. You know, and I get it to some extent. Yeah, you're going to want it to be fake. You're going to want to be able to sell and make money.
Yeah.
But with Sugar Sean O'Malley, this just comes off as this is who I am. And people love that about him. You know, from the very first time they saw him, he was on the Dana White's Contender Series. Right after he gets done with his fight, he goes over, he talks with Uriah Faber and Snoop Dogg, and he lit up a joint with Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
Right there on that show.
Mm-hmm.
And from that point on, everybody's like, man, this guy's going to be a star.
Hey, so far I have 3 perfect picks from the prelim cards so far. I mean, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So let's go
6. So far I'm 6 out of 7 correct on my picks with 3 perfects. If we're counting.
Go to the bottom. So the first one I clicked, I chose Herbert Burns. I'll show you the video. The second one I chose not the guy from the Contender Series. What was his name? Derek or something like that? What's his name?
Both right here.
Devin Clark. So I chose Devin Clark by decision. Yes, Herbert Burns.
I got that one wrong because I picked Alonzo Manyfield on that one. That's the only one I've picked wrong so far, though.
So I picked Herbert Burns by KO, but he won by submission. I really didn't think he'd submit Evan Dunham. He's a crafty veteran. And then I picked Jussier Formiga. I don't remember how I picked him to win. Alex Perez defeated him. I thought that there was a potential for that. Dang. I chose Charles Byrd. Charles Byrd was my pick for the next fight, but he lost to that Maki Pitolo guy, and you know, I'm not really. I'm gonna have to look at that other fight from Maki Pitolo, but when I was looking at his past fights, I wasn't impressed with him, and honestly, I thought he was going to get destroyed. But it looks like he came back and he beat Charles Byrd.
He dominated him, to be honest. I watched. That was one of the fights that I did get to watch, and
okay, I got that one right.
He did everything that I thought he was going to do.
Yeah, so I got the next one right. I got the Cody Stamann fight. That's actually a perfect pick for me.
Yeah, I figured Cody Stamann was going to win. I figured it was going to be a decision.
One.
And he did. He kind of ground him out, landed some good strikes, but got a lot of takedowns and ground that one to a decision.
I got the Ian Heinisch one right too, but that's the wrong round, but it's the right finish. So so let's see. I'm 1, 2, 2 and 2, 3 and 2, 4 and 2 so far. What did I make on a pick on that one?
On a Hooper Caceres fight?
Yeah, I don't remember.
I went with Chase Hooper. Got to represent the Northwest, you know. I figured Chase would win that fight. Bruce Leroy, he's kind of all over the place, so you know he's up and down. He can look really good against some really tough opponents, and then he can fight a lower ranked opponent and not look very good. So I didn't really know what to expect with Bruce Leroy, and I just had to go with Chase because
he just has
Pacific
fun,
Northwest.
Though, you know, Bruce Leroy just has fun.
Yeah, he loves fighting.
And I like that.
He's one of the guys that definitely just love to fight.
He just loves it. I just don't know. I feel like I picked Chase Hooper, but I'm not sure because I kept changing my mind on that one. To me, that was a tough one because Chase Hooper, I like his personality. I like the way that he fights. But, you know, when I'm thinking about, you know, Alex Caceres over here, Alex Caceres didn't even win the Ultimate Fighter. He got brought onto the show simply because he made a fan of Dana White. Dana White pulled him in because Dana White was a fan of him. And then since then, we've come on to see him have some amazing performances, and then some performances that just didn't fully bring everything. So it's kind of you know, it was hard. It was hard for me to pick that fight, and I kept changing my mind on that one. So I'm not quite sure what I officially went with. I want to say I went with Chase Hooper, but I don't know because I changed it many times. So this one, I got this one right, the Sean O'Malley, although I did think it was going to be later. I thought it was going to be a second-round KO.
Same. That's my pick was a second-round KO.
Now I'm going with Neil Magny in this one.
So for this fight, we got Anthony Rocco Martin versus Neil Magny. I went with Neil Magny by decision, so we're going to go ahead and find out how that plays out.
Yep, that's me too. So we're going to go for that one. I need to... Oh, are we logged into your shit?
Yeah, you're logged into mine right now.
Oh,
you didn't make your picks, so
I can make the rest. I can make the rest of them for now.
Go ahead. We'll talk about it real quick. What I got here going on, just before we go up there. So I told you I got Neil Magny over Martin with a decision.
Get this so I can lock in my pick on that.
Yeah, dude. Corey Sandhagen versus Aljamain Sterling. I like Aljamain Sterling, but I like Corey Sandhagen more. I think we're going to see Corey Sandhagen with a decision win right here.
It's going to be a good fight.
For the co-main event, Cody Garbrandt versus Rafael, for my Brazilian fans out there. Assunção. Assunção's an older vet, man. He's pretty much done everything there is to do at the bantamweight division except for win a title.
Hey, they just showed my girl that mofo JoJo.
But we got Cody Garbrandt coming back. I just think that Father Time is not with Assunção in this one, so I've got Cody Garbrandt knocking him out in the first round.
Ooh, so that's interesting. So Cody Garbrandt's jaw has been tested, and Cody Garbrandt's jaw hasn't been holding up lately.
Yeah, we'll see how he looks on this comeback because he hasn't fought in a while.
Assunció's a tough dude.
He is a tough dude.
He's a tough dude, and I don't really see many people knocking him out, to be honest. He's a scrapper, and he's a guy that I think could take some punishment. I think that Cody's a better technical striker.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that he's probably faster. I just don't know if he has the same amount of fight. Like, when I say fight, I'm talking about like that
his
gut,
heart. I don't know if his heart's still where it used to be when he was younger, a little bit younger.
Yeah.
But my issue with when you get a lot of these older guys, man, they just can't take that same punishment they used to. So we're gonna see.
But then you also get those guys that have those resurgences, like a heavyweight. What the hell's his name?
I don't know, man. Heavyweight's crazy though.
Well, you don't have to even be in shape.
What
is his name?
Speaking of heavyweight, did you see that
Andrei
Alexander
Arlovsky
Gustafsson is coming back out of retirement, fighting at heavyweight?
Yeah.
Versus.
Yeah, I didn't see who he was against, but.
Oh man, come on, you know him. He probably has one of the best heavyweight records of all time. When you look at his opponents that he's beaten.
Frank Mir?
No, he beat. Everyone considers him the GOAT for some reason. I don't think so. The dude who smashed a bunch of 185s at heavyweight.
Oh, the Russian?
The Russian.
Yeah.
I don't know why I can't think of his name. But anyway, Fabricio...
Because we know he's not really the GOAT. That's why.
Fabricio Verdum,
he's an afterthought, you know?
If you look at Fabricio Verdum's
like
record at heavyweight, he probably has one of the most pristine heavyweight records of all time when you look at the names that dude's been through. But yeah, Alexander Gustafsson is fighting Fabricio Verdum at heavyweight.
That's interesting.
That's going to be a crazy fight.
Okay, so here's what's interesting about that. UFC recently came out. Dana White recently came out about a week or two, maybe 2 weeks ago, talking about John Jones not moving up to heavyweight. They were having issues with that. So
that was a money thing.
I don't care if it's a money thing or not.
That's the only issue they had was money.
I don't care if it's a money issue or not. He's your longest reigning champion. He's your most dominant champion. He's beat more people than anybody. He's beat more champions. He deserves to get paid the most. The only thing that he doesn't do, and that's because of the fake stuff that we were talking about earlier.
He doesn't sell pay-per-views very well.
And that's because he comes off fake.
But you look at, you need to sell pay-per-views. I think...
Well, I think you have to sell pay-per-views, but you got to be treated like a champ if you're a champ.
You do need to be treated like a champ and get paid like a champ.
Yeah.
There is that. And, I mean, we see that a lot. We see guys, Mark Hunt's been fighting for it for years now, trying to get fighter pay better.
Well, Mark Hunt has a legit reason because that guy probably potentially could have been a UFC champion if he didn't lose to several people who popped for steroids.
I think, what was it, like the last 3 fights that he
had,
every single one of them popped.
Yeah.
Every single one popped after that.
So, Mark Hunt had a legit reason to say, hey, you guys are fucking me over.
Yeah.
The thing that they did with Brock Lesnar, oh no, we're not gonna make you wait 4 months to come back. Like they say is the protocol. They're gonna waive that protocol.
Oh, when they let him come back and
against Mark Hunt.
They didn't have him in that testing pool right away. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he popped for steroids after that fight.
Yeah.
What
about the fighter unions they've been trying to get for years? You've had fighters like Mike Pierce supporting it. Randy Couture was a really big advocate. He's actually been going and trying to get laws passed for the Ali Act to try to get that into MMA. Are more fighters just now starting to realize that maybe they should jump on something like that? Because they're not getting collective bargaining like... Well, Dana White compared it to other sports. So, we're not other sports where they get paid all these millions of dollars and yada, yada, yada or something. And, they're not because they don't have collective bargaining. So they get a smaller share of the profits. Wherein,
here's what I think
baseball, football, basketball, they kind of get like a 48-52 or a 49-51 split of the revenue with the owners. Whereas in MMA, these guys probably are only, if you look at the actual revenue per card, they're really only taking home around 20%.
I'll tell you what you need a manager for. You need a manager to get you into the UFC. Once you're into the UFC, you stay in the UFC based on your own merit, and you need a lawyer. That's what you need. You look at a guy like Gilbert Melendez. Gilbert Melendez went on and he made a good career for himself outside of the UFC. And when he came into the UFC, he got one of the biggest contracts at the time.
Dude, I do remember that.
He got I think it was like $400,000.
A lot of people were talking about that because it was so big for a guy that never even fought in the UFC, and he just got this huge contract.
Yep. But you also have to remember he was talked about as being potentially the best pound for pound. Or not pound for pound, the best
one of the
at the
best
weight class.
145ers.
55.
55.
55, yeah. So they talked about him as being the best, and every time Nate Diaz would come out and fight and win, he'd still say, my boy Gilbert Melendez is the best in the world, And then other people would say it too. And he looked like it.
I mean, he did great in Bellator, so.
And he looked like, well, he did good in the UFC too.
Yeah,
but he was another guy that came in on the tail end of his career. But, so he came in, and if I remember right, he got a lawyer to negotiate his contract. And this is what fighters need to do. And I'm going to speak directly to you fighters right here. All of us want to be like manager or want managers and other stuff like that. You don't need a manager to negotiate your contract. You need a lawyer to negotiate your contract. A manager could potentially put you in contact with the right people, help you find the sponsorships and stuff like that. And that's all great. But you need a lawyer looking over your contract, making sure you're not getting screwed over.
I mean, yeah.
That's the bottom line.
If you're ever signing a contract in any business whatsoever, it's just common sense at that point. You need a lawyer to look over the contract for you. I mean, really, it doesn't come down to anything else because what are you going to do? You're not a lawyer. Maybe your manager is a lawyer, and good for you.
Well, here's the problem with that. Your lawyer gets paid based off of what you pay them, right?
Yeah.
So your lawyer, if you say, hey, I'm going to go fight this case, they're like, hey, we're billing you out this much per hour or whatever, right? So these managers, they only get paid when you get paid.
Yep.
So they're willing to say, you know what? Let's not worry about trying to get an extra $20,000 for that fight because that might only be an extra $2,000 for me.
Yeah.
So they don't care.
That's a good point.
It's true, but nobody talks about it.
That's a really good point.
They're gonna settle, and I'm telling you, they're gonna settle for a lower price to get you where they want you to go so that they can get paid. They're gonna do that.
Yeah.
It's like selling houses, right? So sometimes when it comes to selling houses, it plays in the opposite direction, right? A person might tell you, your realtor might say, hey, leave it on the market for another week. I know you got this offer, but leave it on the market. We could get an extra potential $20,000. Okay? But what happens when you do that? You have to pay your fees. You have to pay your taxes. You pay advertising. That person is getting more money because of that. So they want to hold on to that extra $20,000 so they can make a couple extra themselves. Whereas in the end, you wait the extra little bit for a couple $1,000 yourself. Right? So it's a little bit, it goes back and forth on it when it comes to that. That's the opposite perspective of it. But this is how things work, right? They're going to settle because they want that guaranteed spot that you're getting if you take that money now.
Absolutely. And so looking at the just the tail of the tape, Neil Magny has a 6.5-inch reach advantage over Martin.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a huge advantage coming in here. He could just pick him apart if he wanted to.
He's a striker, man.
And he's a striker.
He's a striker with long range, and he's learned how to use it.
He's got a, what is it, 2 or 3 inch height advantage too?
I don't know, but
so that height advantage with the reach advantage, I'll tell you what, Martin better be able to get inside or it's going to be a bad night for him.
Neil's looking in shape. He's looking like he's in pretty good shape. He's one of my favorite fighters to watch fight. He's not one of my favorite fighters personality-wise, so I don't really gravitate to him as a star, which goes back to that whole subject. But when you watch him fight, he's fun.
By the title fight by now, but he hit a couple roadblocks. He looked good. What was he on, an 8-fight win streak? He had like one of the longest win streaks going on in the UFC, and still didn't have a title shot. I thought for sure he was getting that title shot. I'm not sure. I don't remember off the top of my head what happened real quick, but
I can't tell you what happened. But here's what I will tell you:
took a dip.
Outside of him fighting, I don't ever think about him.
No.
Right? So he doesn't make himself known in the media. He doesn't have a real presence. And since he doesn't have a real presence, that might be a bit of the problem.
Chael laid the tape for that too. I mean, a lot of people talk shit about Chael.
He had 2 fights booked at once.
But I mean, he kind of laid the tape for that. He kind of taught people, hey, this is how you make a name for yourself. And outside of getting paid in the UFC, if you can get a following, you can do things like advertisements outside the UFC, because the UFC has a strict contract, where you're only allowed to wear Reebok gear. You can't have sponsorships and certain things like that.
You have sponsorships as long as they're not inside
fighters
the ring.
that do get special advantages, like Cowboy.
You get Monster and stuff like that.
And then when he was fighting Mighty Mouse, when he was in the UFC,
Xbox.
he was getting Xbox sponsorship. So I mean, you can get some certain things worked if you have that pull with the UFC.
And that's going to come with being a star or being a champion.
But yeah, you got to learn how to build yourself up.
You got to be a star
or
or
a champion. Following, then you can do it. I mean, you can make money outside the UFC. So you just got to be able to do it. And Mighty Mouse, Twitch, man. That guy, he streams, plays video games and streams with people,
on
man.
Xbox, so Xbox sponsored him.
And Pacific Northwest represent, also Microsoft is a Northwest company, so hey, what's up?
What's up?
So this is good. Oh, Martin's got his back right now. This is interesting.
Yep.
Like I said, if Martin can get inside, he might have a chance. But if he can't get inside, it's going to be a long night.
Well,
but he's inside.
As long as Neil keeps on this wrist control, he should be all right. He's rolling the grip. He's fighting the grip. He just can't let it go. He's got to keep a hold of that grip until he's in a position to break. But being pressed against the cage, he can't really get his hips out to make those arms long. So he's able to keep Martin's able to keep his arms
gonna
bent
spin
and get a
real
little power.
quick.
That's
He's
a
gonna-
lift. Just switch your other leg to his leg, hand to the leg and lift.
Oh, he let go.
Why?
He should have spun.
Oh, he's got the back. He can get a back take here. There it goes. Yep.
Ooh, he's
got a
Martin
seatbelt on.
is Martin's scrappy.
Yeah, he is. No, Martin's really good. He's crafty here. He's having a little bit of a hard time taking him down, but I'm going to tell you, to be honest, my least favorite people to wrestle are tall dudes. They're hard to take down. They have long legs. Their hips are higher than other people's hips, and it makes it hard to get the same leverage to lift. But, I mean, right now, what I'm seeing is he needs to switch to a high crotch, and he needs to do just lift him right there from the high crotch. You know, boom, straight up. By high crotch, I mean he needs to isolate the leg with both of his arms, one leg with both of the arms, high up in the crotch by the groin, where he's deep, his elbow deep in the leg, and he can lift him high. Yep, Magny's out of that.
Magny's out of that. Now
See, I told you that hand fighting
kind of clinching up against the cage right now. But Martin is really pushing this.
Oh, he let go of it.
Oh, come on. Dude, this is crazy because I really expected Neil to kind of keep him at bay with his jabs and stuff like that. But like I said, here we go. And Martin's the one that broke it up. Okay.
Well, you know, Martin's a pro, right? So
a little bit.
So when it comes down to it, we might say, hey, you know, we think that based on what we see from these guys, this guy's taller, he's longer, he likes to strike, then you know, then he should have the advantage. Well, Martin knows all this stuff. His trainers know all this stuff, right? They should have been watching the fights and studying him. Maybe Martin didn't. Sometimes there's fighters who don't like it.
He's landed 3 straight jabs too.
Yeah,
he's out jabbing Neil Magny right
Neil
now,
took
which
a
is
bad
weird.
shot. Neil shot.
Yeah, that I don't. Why is Neil shooting on a wrestler?
This is interesting.
That's really weird. Is Neil a wrestler?
I don't remember him being a wrestler.
I don't.
Cheers.
I mean, I've seen him wrestle a little bit, you know, and get some takedowns, but by trade, I feel like the dude's a striker.
Mm-hmm. Man, well, you know what? With that last shot attempt, I'm going to say no, that's not a wrestler. But...
Ooh, good jab there. Ooh, good, another one.
To be fair, there's another person in the UFC that's considered the greatest wrestler in the UFC right now, and he doesn't know how to take a proper shot.
Dude, I'll tell you what. If you go look back at Khabib's early tapes, though, he used to do really good shots.
No, he doesn't.
No, he used to. Look at his old tapes.
I've watched all of it.
He used to have good shots.
Are you talking prior to fighting in the UFC or what?
No. I'm talking prior to fighting. Who was it?
You talking Abel?
Not Abel. It was a bulky old. What the heck was it? He was a Brazilian. Short, stocky Brazilian, like stocky dude. I'm trying to remember his name.
Not Francisco Trinaldo.
Not Trinaldo. No, not Trinaldo. Although I did like Trinaldo. He was fun to watch.
He was really fun to watch.
Pull that up real quick, and I'll tell you the name because there's a video. If you watch his YouTube, the only reason he switched up his style of shots is because this one fighter was stuffing him.
So he got a worse shot? Is that he got a worse shot because one fighter stopped him?
Well, he went to that clinch type deal where he just decided to take it down from the clinch instead of shooting.
Gleason Tebow?
Tebow, yes.
Gosh, I haven't seen him fight in a while.
I haven't seen him fight in a while either, but Tebow, yeah.
When you watch him shoot, it's the most predictable shot. And the reason he ties up with people is because he can't finish his shot from the open. He has a hard time finishing it in the open.
I got to show you this video, dude. It shows you a lot of his old shots, man. He did really well shooting.
He's got good throws.
But certain guys like that are strong as fuck like that, Tebow was able to stuff some of those shots. And then he ended up, after that fight, he completely changed his style and literally started taking stuff down. I don't remember the video. There's a video on YouTube, though.
He started tying up with guys.
Yeah, he started tying up, getting the clinch.
Pressuring.
Pressure. He eats some shots, and that's why Michael Johnson was able to rock him because now he's just like fuck it and just goes and eats shots and goes for the clinch.
You know he has an awkward offbeat style.
It's really awkward,
and that allows him to create some openings and create some opportunities that he wouldn't otherwise have, right?
Yeah.
Or that other guys don't see. Like it's like when you look at our brother Skyler, right? So Skyler doesn't know how to throw a punch properly. But he's able to get these things to land. He's got some weird striking that he throws, and it looks a little bit goofy, but he can hit, and he can throw really good ground and pound. You know? He's got vicious ground and pound on the ground.
We saw him on that fight up in Spokane, or was it not Spokane? Outside Seattle. What was that one up outside Seattle?
Yeah. We were at a bar. So Dennis Hallman had a show on show.
Hallman had that show.
Yeah, Dennis Hallman called me up. It was like a 3-day notice thing. I was training a couple of fighters, and
Skyler was drinking soda literally right before this fight, mind you.
Yeah, well, yeah, you know.
Was he 19 years old at that one too?
Yeah, no, he was 18.
Was he 18?
He was 18.
I knew he was young.
Most of his stuff was right around the time he graduated, because he graduated high school. His high school graduation, I want to say, was the day after one of his MMA fights before. Yeah. And that was on Austin Springer's show. But yeah, that fight was fun because he had to go 15 minutes. He had to go 15 minutes with no training, and he wasn't drinking. Yeah, he was drinking soda that day, but he was also drinking alcohol.
Well,
2 nights
I wasn't going to bring that up.
So, no, it's true.
It's true.
He's a grown man. He's a grown man.
He knows.
Dennis Hallman calls me
He
up.
got a nice takedown.
Yeah, he did.
Neil Magny's losing this fight right now, guys.
Well, yeah, he is.
I mean, you got to look at the strikes landed is probably pretty close on the feet. But
no, Martin has the advantage. I would say.
Martin's definitely
he has the advantage as far as the striking goes, and I would say the grappling goes. But anyway, so back to Skyler's story. Skyler, Dennis Hallman called me. I was at work, and I talked to him, and he's like, "Yeah, I got these fights coming up. There was a problem with the promotion. It was supposed to be like a pro-am show with like 6 or 7 pros on it, and something happened with the commission or something, and they scrapped all the pro fights. So they were looking for some amateurs, and I was like, well, let me call my guys and see what I got. I was only training probably 3 or 4 guys at the time. I called my brother up. He was the one ready to go, and he's like, yeah, at the time when I call him, he's drinking. He's like, when is it? In 2 days. Oh, fuck yeah, I'll do it. So, so then he agrees to go do it. Skyler doesn't care about nutrition whatsoever.
No.
At all. So then we get down there, and this is the day of weigh-ins. We weigh in. It was a fun time. There was at some skybox or Club Sky thing out towards Seattle area, and Skyler weighs. We're standing there at the weigh-ins, looking at all these guys, trying to figure out who he's gonna fight because we have no clue. We don't even know the name, really.
He doesn't even know who it was before.
Oh hell no, we didn't know nothing. You know us. We don't turn down fights.
No.
Bro, I boxed a national
Don't turn
champion.
down fights at all, but
I boxed a national champion on 2 days' notice.
I remember
right?
that. I remember. So, you also fought a BJJ world champion.
No, he wasn't a world champion.
He wasn't world champion, but he had some high level grappling experience.
He competed internationally a little bit.
He was an international
he competed in Russia and some other places.
Jesse Filan, that was his name, right?
Yeah, I think it's Filan.
Yeah.
Filan. Yeah, it rhymes with flying. But so Skyler goes out there, takes this guy down, or he goes out there after weigh-ins. He wants to eat McDonald's. I'm like, bro, you're fighting tomorrow.
What do you got going on here?
Well, Magny's trying to fight off. Well,
lift it out.
So I was like, you're fighting tomorrow. He's like, yeah, I'll be fine. And then the next day, we're talking about getting food, and he wants to go to the McDonald's again, get a burger and fries, and get a large soda. This is like 3 hours before his fight.
Yep.
And I'm like,
sounds like Skyler.
I was like, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? You're going to throw up. No, I'll be fine. Water's bad for you. And I'm like, what? So then we go out there. We do the fight. Skyler goes out there and he scraps for 15 minutes with this guy, takes this guy down, controls him, grinds out a unanimous decision. He won every round. It wasn't really close. The guy, Skyler made him look bad. The guy tried to come up and tell us that he took a short notice fight, which was bullshit because we looked back on the promotion for it and the advertisements, and he was listed as having another fighter by his name. So,
and he was a striker, and Skyler just took him down and beat him up.
Well, he wasn't a nothing but a punching dummy for Skyler.
Yeah.
Skyler beat the hell out of him.
Skyler just took him down and beat him up. It was that simple.
Yeah, so it was good for 15 minutes. Afterwards, the guy's trying to talk to him in the cage, and Skyler's like, I don't know, I just got to puke. And so we hurried up and got him out of the cage to the back.
Dude, I remember
throwing up all those fries and stuff.
When you won your first title, when you fought, I think it was against... We talked about it last time, but when you won your title against Jordan Sutton, as soon as you left the cage, you went to the back and you were throwing up.
Bro, I did that a lot.
I was just saying, that's pretty common for a lot of fighters to throw up during after fights?
To be honest, I've never really watched other fighters after the fights.
Even your own?
Well, no. I mean, I haven't seen them throw up, besides me and Skyler. But do you remember? My first MMA official, or I don't even know if you want to call it official.
Versus Dan.
No. In the Hop Keto gym.
Oh, the Hapkido one again?
Yeah, I threw up in that one.
I don't remember
I
that.
fought 2 fights in a row, and then I threw up, and they were trying to get me to do another one.
I was still trying to figure out the whole time what the fuck Hapkido was, so...
Well, we weren't doing Hapkido rules.
It was weird.
Oh, remember, because I socked that dude in the face?
I was like, what the hell's going on?
It was only supposed to be body shots.
Yeah.
They told us that. They said body shots and then full striking on the ground, just no headshots. But
Yeah.
you could punch and kick anywhere in the body, just not the head.
I do remember that. That was pretty funny.
And you had to wear a karate gi. I didn't have a gi.
I know.
All I knew.
That's what was even more funny.
Hey, I knew wrestling and I knew some boxing, right? And
who got you in it? Was that Ensign?
no, that wasn't Ensign. That was this was before I actually met Ensign.
I thought that was around the Ensign time because you were still a minor, and I remember
Yeah,
Ensign hooked you up.
I was 15. Well, yeah, he did, but we won't talk about that. Let's not talk about that. But I was 15 at the time, and this was my first MMA experience. What happened is I'd started at Heritage High School, the high school I ended up graduating from, and there's this huge dude in the school. He was a monster, and we had a full contact PE class. It was called Fit to Compete, and we were playing tackle football. And everybody just kept getting out of his way, so they'd just pass him the ball and he'd run it down. I finally got pissed, and I'm like the smallest dude out there. I'm 5'4", right? And at the time, I'm in high school, so I couldn't have weighed any more than 130 pounds tops. And this guy's like 6'4". He starts running down the field, and I was just like, all right, fuck it. He's not taking me down, or he's not scoring. I'm taking him down. So he started.
What was that, Neil?
He started running at me. Neil looks weird this fight.
Dude, he's throwing some weird, awkward stuff, and like...
He's afraid to get hit. Look at that.
Yeah,
he's
just
throwing that jab
him
short.
fucking
He
fake
threw
back.
that jab short and pulled back before he
Yeah,
even
he was testing range and then pulled back.
Yeah.
What?
So anyway, that was a nice
there
one.
you go.
Anyway, so
Come on,
so,
you got to go for broke on this one, Neil. I feel like he's down 2-0.
He's down. He's got to finish. But the guy runs down the football field, and I lower my shoulder, and I just leveled him. I took him out. I ran right at him. He ran right at me, and I took him out, and he went down to the ground. I stood over him, and I stared in his eyes, and I kind of walked off. And everybody's like, oh, like freaking out. So then after that, I'm in the locker room, in the locker room at school, and this guy and a couple other guys walk up to me. I think I'm about to get in a fight, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And they're like, hey, we got some boxing matches going on at my house. You after school, if you want to come over and watch. And I was like, all right, I'll come over and watch. I went over there to watch, and then as soon as I get there, this one kid starts calling me out, and he's like, he's probably about 6'2". He was like,
Are you talking about when you guys fought in the backyard of that
front yard.
Kai's house?
Yeah, at Kai's house.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the front yard. Yeah. So I was like, no, I'm just trying to watch. I don't want to fight. And he's like, yeah, come on, don't fight, or don't be a pussy. Let's fight. I was like, no. Now, none of these guys knew that I knew anything about wrestling. None of these guys knew that I knew anything about boxing.
So this is when you first got to Heritage, right?
Yeah. And none of these guys knew that I knew anything about MMA. And so I kept saying no, and he kept calling me a pussy. So I was like, you are not Nate Diaz. Don't ever try that again. How dare you try to Stockton slap somebody. Anyway, so I kept trying to say no, and he kept calling me out and calling me a pussy. And there's more people showing up. There's a lot of people there from the school. And I finally was like, all right, you know what? Let's go. So we go out there. They say fight. 1 minute and 13 seconds. He's knocked out, bleeding from his lips, in the bushes and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Neil landed a good straight right.
Well, see, that's his only success. He goes straight right. Instead of following up with the punch, he keeps diving on that shot.
Yeah, I don't understand it. He's not going to get this guy. He's fighting a wrestler.
And it's not good. So then,
this guy's clearly better on the ground.
So then after I whooped that one kid, and then that guy from the football field, he wants to fight me. And I was like, dude, no way. I was like, I'm not doing that. That's ridiculous. I was like, no, you're way too. His name was Andy Chris, and I was like, no.
I remember his name.
I've talked to him every once in a while still.
Yeah.
And he goes, no, me and you. So I was like, all right, fuck it, let's go. And then he comes out. He's trying to throw the same thing. He's throwing a left hook and a right hook. So all I'm doing is I'm dipping. I'm going body, head. So I dip, hook with my left, hook with my right, and then I hook to the head with the left again. And I did that over and over and over again. Literally the same exact combo because he
just
kept
fell
throwing the
for
same
it?
punch. He kept throwing the same 2 punches. And then, so I slip on the grass one time, and he punched me in the back of the head. And I look at him, I was like, you fucking pussy, have to punch me when I'm down? And he goes, that's the only way I can hit you, you're too fast.
Magny outstruck him, I told you.
In what round?
All of them so far. I don't know how, but
These guys are counting air punches.
he's up big on strikes. But I don't, like, from what I've seen.
He's not up big on strikes. They say he's got like 5 more strikes in the first 2 rounds.
Dude, he had 33-9 in the first round alone.
He got
or
controlled.
22-9. But he did get control. That's what I mean. I was like, I don't know where the strikes were, because from what I saw, Martin was landing a lot of good strikes.
Yep.
But this is going to be interesting to see how the judges scored it. I think Martin won this fight.
Hey.
But we'll find out.
Before we get to that decision, Martin won the fight. He had to have won the fight. Neil Magny's sitting down. He knows he's defeated. Before we get to the decision there, I want to finish this story.
Finish that story.
So then I get up and I start boxing him again. And finally he goes, fuck it, I quit. I can't do it anymore. He's like, you fucked my job. You fucked my job. And so he was like, he's done. He quit. I was like, all right, man. We probably went for a good 15 minutes, too. We went for a while. And it was just literally the same thing over and over and over again. The same exact combo.
There's that
head.
right that I said that it was a good one that he landed, but he didn't follow it up with anything. He just went for a shot after that. So
then, after that fight, they call up their buddy. They're like, we got somebody else. We got one more. His name is Karate Tom. They tell me he's got a couple different black belts. Right? They're like, Karate Tom, his full name is Thomas Wynn. And And yeah, remember, because I fought him at the Hop Keto thing. Yeah. So then he shows up and he's like, all right, let's go. And I'm like, oh, fuck it. All right. I was like, this is the last one I'm doing. I ain't fighting nobody else. Right?
You'd be tired by this point. Yeah. I mean, that's 2 fights in a row.
2 fights in a row. Yeah. Well, other people fought. I wasn't the only one that fought. So there was a couple of fights between those ones. But I was like, this is the last one I'm doing. You know, and
let's see what we got.
All right, so he shows up at the house, and we start boxing. I dropped him like 5 or 6 times before he quit. Like, I put him on the floor. And this was straight boxing. This was just straight hands and straight boxing.
We got a split decision for Neil Magny. Wow.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
Neil Magny took the split decision.
I don't know about
I'm assuming
that.
it's a split decision based off the way they read the scorecards. We have the audio down
unanimous,
for a copy.
Unanimous.
Is it? Oh, yep, unanimous decision. Okay.
Yeah. We got the audio off.
We have the audio down due to copyright issues and stuff like that. But yeah, they were both kind of like, he raised his hand up in the middle of the fucking announcement, so I thought for sure they called him at least for 1 round.
Yep.
So they must have gave it to him based off strikes alone, which is really weird. So you got boxing judges again. We talk about that again.
So at that point, we're in Nevada, right? So this is
Vegas.
well, yeah.
Yeah, Vegas.
Las Vegas, Nevada.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
No, Vegas, I'm saying.
I thought you were trying to say no, not Nevada. I was like, what? But, okay, so one of the things that I do really like about boxing
Look at that.
is they I don't know if this is a thing in the big MMA shows, and I'm going to say no, it's not, because I've never heard of it from anybody we talked about. But in boxing, there's negotiations as far as who's going to be the ref in the fights, in the main fights, right? There's negotiations as who's going to be the judges, right? So these guys try to work all this stuff out before they even get the fight going. Like, they want this judge, they want this ref. You know, they try to figure all of that out in advance. I want to hear this a little bit, but we'll have to cut this next part out.
Yeah, we can, I don't know where the hell the remote's at.
Fuck it, don't worry about it. Anyway.
Fuck. I'm pretty sure it's over there somewhere.
Yeah, it's somewhere.
I don't know. I'm trying to watch the F words this episode, even though I've dropped like 3 or 4 of them myself. Dropped a few
I've dropped a few of them. And I was thinking about that earlier on the way here, because in order to be more friendly to the entire MMA environment, I think that it's better that we don't, because you got to think about, like, I don't know. I keep thinking about, like, oh, you know, the kids and other people that are going to listen in and
we're
watch
drinking
it.
beer on this. Our channel is essentially, our target audience is over 21. So, to me, I mean...
well, in America, our target audience is over 21.
Yeah.
Other countries, our target audience is whoever you're allowed to drink.
Amen
or
to
whenever.
That. Amen to that. Hey, Canada, where you at? Europe, let's go. But follow us, Crushing Cans Podcast. Why the hell do I do that? Crushing Cans Podcast. Dude, I always get this lisp every time I say it. It drives me nuts.
I know.
I'm changing the name.
No. Don't change the name. You know how many times I had to practice that? I literally did this shit fucking like 20 times. See, I'm Jake Thomas and then damn it, let me restart this. This is the can crushing. No, we're not can crushing. Ugh. Okay, hold on. Start over.
We gotta like get a whole outtake video of just saying Crushing Cans because Crushing Cans Podcast. I gotta go slow to make sure I say it right.
I love it though. It's a good name. It's a good name because it works, man.
No, I like it. So I mean, for those that don't know why we chose Crushing Cans, it's kind of like a double entendre play on word type deal. So when we drinking beer, when you're done with your beer, we crush the cans, right? And then we're also mixed in with MMA. And in MMA, what happens when a dude's patent his record?
They fight cans.
They're crushing cans.
They're can crushers.
We call them can crushers. It's like Michael Venom Page.
MVP.
He's a fun fighter. I think he's only got one credited fighter to his name, though, and he lost.
Well, yeah.
That was the Bellator champion at 170.
Ooh, this is a fight that I'm really excited about, though.
I like Aljamain Sterling for sure.
Yep.
But yeah, we call them Crushing Cans. So that's what the whole podcast is about, MMA and beer.
Well, it's
We're
all about
crushing cans.
It's all about like combat sports. You hear us talk about boxing a little bit. It's the same
some
thing
wrestling
happens.
in there.
The same thing. Well, I mean, it doesn't really happen in wrestling because it's a tournament, right?
Well, yeah, you fight who you have to.
You go against whoever it is. But let's be honest.
They don't have pro wrestling.
No. Actually, I'm going to take that back.
If they had pro wrestling.
Well, they do have some. They do have some, but not
WWE.
No.
Not
they
that
do.
Shit. We're
they
talking,
do. They do. It's just not mainstream. There's not a lot of money in it.
Yeah.
But when it comes to wrestling, if you look at the way that tournaments are set up, you have a number one seed, right? That number one seed
or wrestle to 16.
Well, oftentimes they only seed like it depends on what tournament it is.
Yeah.
Like if it's like a really big, really important tournament, there's going to be more people seeded. But
right.
We go to a lot of these tournaments that you go to, like Pat Coast has over 32 teams.
Pat Coast.
So
is huge.
it's huge.
I didn't even wrestle, and I know Pat Coast.
Only top 10 or top 8 or something like that are seeded. The rest are just thrown in what we call the shaker, and it's just a random draws where they're going to get. It's because they're not good enough, right?
They're showing some Kimbo Slice stuff now.
Well, what they're doing is they're showing the Jorge Masvidal stuff, but
because Jorge came up.
Oh wait, they're showing some
Kimbo.
Real Kimbo stuff.
This is about Kimbo. I wonder if
are they inducting him in the Hall of Fame? They better not be. Okay,
I wonder
it's a UFC Fight Pass.
Yeah, it's to advertise Fight Pass, but I'm wondering if it's when did Kimbo die? Because this is the legacy of the legend of Kimbo Slice, and it's available Tuesday on UFC Fight Pass. Well, I'm plugging UFC Fight Pass now. What the hell? But
no, I'm okay. I'm okay with that.
Either way, it's a great app. If you don't have it, it's worth the money.
Monday. I'm busy all day long.
Fight Physics, JoJo Calderwood?
Yep.
Yeah, figures. But, so the official UFC beer is Modelo, man. You know what? I don't know. I've had Modelo.
It's good.
It's all right. I'm still a Corona guy when it comes to my Mexican beers.
Yeah, I mean, my
fucking vibrating down here.
Right on.
This guy. Dude, the Apex Center is so nice. Look at that, though. Who the hell is this? I don't know, but that Apex Center is so nice. Look at that.
It's really cool because all they do is buy the building across the street from them and modify it to fit their needs.
What do you think about that? The new UFC belt. Are you a fan of it?
Oh yeah,
I kind of like it.
So it took me a little while. At first, I hated it.
A lot of people did, but I was not a hater. I liked it at first, but now I'm kind of like falling down towards. I'm more like It's cool, but I like the way they do it with their diamonds, or the rubies, and they.
I like all the little subtleties too.
Add new ones for each win
or
the title defense,
or the flags that they have on there.
Mm-hmm. That's really cool.
I like how everything that they've done to it is symbolic and significant.
Everything has meaning on that belt.
It's not just a random cool design with UFC in the middle of it.
Yeah.
It's completely designed about it. It has an octagon shape to it.
Yeah,
so that
it looks dope.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of it.
I'll put a picture up on this video on the podcast for you guys. I'll put a picture up for you so you guys can see it.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of it.
It's pretty sweet.
That was a good knee.
Yeah, it was.
Damn, and a good spinning elbow.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
But that belt, man, it's. I remember when they released it, and it got a lot of hate from a lot of people.
Here's the thing that I have the problem with some of these releases and these pictures and these promotions and stuff. It reminds me of like Oregon Ducks football sometimes pisses me off because they'll
Watch
put
your
out
mouth.
these. No, they do. They do. And it's
They
all
piss
because
me off too when they fucking
it's-
lose in the World Championship
it's,
game,
it's not.
the national title game. So
No, it's about their damn uniforms. You put out this picture that looks super dope with the dark green and all this stuff, and then they come out and you see like this like really bright lime green, and you're like, this is not the same thing I saw in the
that's
picture.
the lighting. They get
It
this
is.
weird lighting.
It is
on
the
there.
lighting, and it's deceiving. So when you see these belts and you saw the whole initial release, and they're trying to frame it in all these different ways to look cool, I didn't like it as much. But when I saw it on the
Live,
person,
strapped.
when I saw it with a person who has a belt of the old one and the new one, or when I see them next to each other, just like the Ferguson Khabib fight that never happened. When I see those belts by each other, I'm like, wow, the new one's much better. Or
Yeah,
look at
I mean, I
Amanda
like
Nunes.
it.
Look, I think if you look at the
The old
picture
one
of Amanda
reminds
Nunes,
me too much of like a WCW World Championship. You remember the WCW
yeah.
heavyweight title?
Yep.
Back in there, and by the way, WCW was always and will always be greater than
Hey,
WWF.
baby.
Fuck you guys.
Hey, here's the
I
thing.
love it.
Here's the thing.
But
We are the Heritage Timberwolves, and you know what song I like to play for our comeback?
Wolfpack, NWO Wolfpack.
Yeah, the bad
buddy.
boys of wrestling are back. Don't turn your back.
Sterling versus Sandhagen coming
You
up.
might end up in a
This
body bag.
one is going to be fun. To be honest, I don't know who's going to win. I picked Sandhagen, but
is
it's
just
going to
gonna
be
be-
a fun fight. I can guarantee that.
Well, this is a fans fight, right?
This is a fans fight.
That's
We
all
talked
it is.
about this last week. This is a fans fight.
You got to have some fans fights in there.
And this is definitely a fans fight. Aljamain Sterling, he likes to push the pace. He likes to throw some flashy stuff.
He can wrestle.
He can wrestle. The guy's really got it all. So we'll see.
But if you look like-
Sandhagen is more than game.
He's got the fourth highest striking rate
Yeah.
in the UFC history.
7.4 per
the
minute.
UFC history. History.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Think about it. Since what was it, 92, 93?
Yeah, when the UFC won.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quick, man. 7 strikes a minute, more than 7 strikes a minute.
That's insane.
It's so fast. Now, can Aljamain handle that pace? That's
We'll
gonna be
find out.
crazy.
We'll find out, but I will
Is
tell
he
you,
gonna wrestle him? Is that what he's gonna do for this fight? Do you think that would be the smart game plan to take him down?
I don't know. I don't know what the smart game plan is because he attacks everywhere, right?
He does.
Sandhagen attacks everywhere.
Sandhagen's crazy.
And he's got elbows like crazy, and he throws them from everywhere. So he's going to be another guy who's going to be like a Kenny Florian type, where you hit him on the ground, he's not going to lay there. He's
No.
attacking. But,
He's gonna keep going.
the kryptonite to wrestling is jiu-jitsu. But the kryptonite to jiu-jitsu is wrestling with an understanding of jiu-jitsu. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, there's obviously going to
because,
be
like-
outliers where the elite guys in jiu-jitsu are going to be able to, submit guys.
Right.
But in general, this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to say I think that a high-level wrestler with 1 to 2 years of jiu-jitsu can defeat a very, very high-level jiu-jitsu guy who's never
Oh,
wrestled.
absolutely. It's, for me, it comes down to, there's just something about the way that a wrestler can hold you down.
It's the positioning.
The wrestlers can get on top and they can maintain that position and still do damage and work from there.
So this is what it reminds me of. Now, Eddie Bravo's got his combat jiu-jitsu going on right
I
now.
love watching Eddie Bravo, by the way. And I don't like watching a lot of jiu-jitsu tournaments, but I like watching Eddie Bravo.
Yeah, so you know what I like about it is I'm not as big of a fan on the combat jiu-jitsu side because I want the jiu-jitsu to be I want the submission jiu-jitsu and the EBIs to be a separate thing than the MMA stuff. And I get why he's doing it because his whole reason for creating his system in the first place was to be actually applicable in the UFC. He's like, these guys are fighting without shirts. They're fighting in shorts. They're not fighting in gis. So he's like, why are we training these guys to do this? They should be learning how to do it without that stuff. So he made his own style to be based off of not needing the gi, right? And it was applicable for the UFC, but then you also have a lot of other guys who started training in jiu-jitsu with the gi and doing no gi. And in tournaments, there's gi and no gi entries, and the game just kind of changed. They started doing all these different things and all these crazy things that were awesome and fun to watch as far as being a fan of jiu-jitsu and of the EBI stuff and Chael Sonnen and Submission Underground, which I absolutely love. I'm a huge fan of it. It's one of my favorite things right now.
Submission Underground.
One of my favorite things right now, just because I don't get to see enough of the EBI stuff anymore. Eddie Bravo's more pushing his combat jiu-jitsu. But
this is interesting right here, though. If you look at Corey Sandhagen's got a 4-inch height advantage, but Aljamain Sterling has a 1-inch reach advantage.
Long arms.
It's gonna make for an interesting matchup.
You know the people that creep me out? Those people with really short arms, right? So, and this sounds rude, but I'm gonna tell you.
Man, he's being real. There's nothing rude about it.
Look, okay, my arms are of average length for my height, right?
Sure.
So, there's this kid. He's a tough wrestler. He's in a lighter weight class. He's got a really thick, like, body as far as muscle stuff goes, and arms and legs. But his legs are really short, and his arms only go down to, like, his hips. Now, if
it probably looks weird.
If you
people
guys,
can't see you, you're out of camera.
Look right there. This is about where his arms go down to on his body. His
Talking
hips.
about like this.
Now, that's my arm extended. Imagine someone with that much shorter of an arm. It kind of just looks weird.
I don't know. To me, you get somebody that looks weird in terms of like body proportion. Jeff Munson, dude. That dude.
Well, that's what steroids will do for you, dude.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he's got such really long arms, and he's only like 5'10". Is he? He's even 5'10". He's like 5'8". 5'8", 5'10", maybe.
All I know is I was a big fan of his.
He's got like really long arms. It's crazy.
I was a big fan of his because he's another Pacific Northwest guy. He was out here for a long time.
Is Munson a Northwest guy? I didn't know that.
Yeah. But then he went to like Russia or something like that because he's a communist.
Okay, so he's got the body triangle right now, and he's got his back.
Plenty of time. This was in less.
So he's got Sandhagen's back. Yeah, there's still 4 minutes and 7 seconds left in the fight.
Hey, this is the thing I also like about wrestling.
So he's using the wrestling, like we said. Is he going to take it down, and is that going to be a strategy? Clearly, we're seeing that is a strategy.
And that's always the question mark. You know, the cool thing about this was he had a great path to the back.
Oh yeah.
You know, in less than a minute.
Oh
he
yeah.
Went right after it, went straight to the back. He locked up the body triangle. I don't think he's in danger of burning his legs out. I know a lot of people talk about that, but he's got all the time in the world to work.
That's deep. That's in. That's it. He's got to tap.
He's going to tap or go to sleep.
He's going to sleep.
He's tapping.
There it is.
Tapped.
He tapped. Let go.
He tapped.
Did the ref not see him tap? Because he waited a little bit before he pulled that off.
It was like a delayed reaction.
He tapped. That was a tap. So Aljamain Sterling just won via submission.
But here's what I'm going to say.
That thing was in deep.
Oh, he went out too.
He doesn't know that he went out. Oh, he thinks he didn't tap. He's pulling that I didn't tap type thing. I never tapped. I didn't tap. What are you talking about? What the hell?
Yeah. Oh, like Tito did?
Oh.
Against Chael?
Chael versus Tito.
By the way,
Tito tapped. Hey, Chael
Tito
said that on his last part. Not his last one, but just recently. Chael even said that. He threw it in. He said Tito tapped. And I was like, yes, he did.
I got to start watching that stuff again because I've been so busy lately. Like,
dude, I hear you, man.
You would think the coronavirus stuff would give me more time, but no. Like, there's a bunch of shit around the house and around.
Well, no, that's what it does. It gives you time to do shit around the house.
Well, it's all the stuff I've been neglecting. You know,
exactly.
I built the new shed. I'm getting all the stuff out of my garage.
Hurry up and get that
rebuilding
garage
that thing.
cleared out so we can get our podcast set up.
Yeah, we're working on it. It's almost ready. You know what the problem was today is we would have been.
No, I don't.
We would have been able to go today.
You sent me that picture and I was excited. I'm like, oh hell yeah, dude, this is gonna be legit.
Okay, but you know what the problem is?
You're gonna tell me.
The TV mounts on that wall right there. So where we're sitting, there's no background there besides my garage with all the shit.
Oh, I'm not worried about TV mount. We can work around that for now, but
no, because if we're watching the TV right here in front of us,
for actually watching the fight, we wouldn't have been able to watch.
Everything behind us is open. It's a terrible view, right? And and it's just boxes and other stuff that I got out of the way, right? Yeah. And so the whole thing that I did is I was building the whole bar countertop area.
Yeah.
You know, I got my mini fridge there. I stained some wood
I definitely
there.
should have picked Aljamain Sterling, man. He went quick to it.
I said Aljamain.
Crazy.
Didn't I say Aljamain?
I don't remember.
We were going through the fights. I thought I said Aljamain.
I don't remember. We'll have to look that back when we come.
I don't know if I made an official prediction on it because I know we were talking about how that was going to be an exciting fight, and I don't know if I made an actual pick.
Yeah, we'll see. I think we just said it was exciting. I picked Sandhagen. I thought he'd be able to keep it up, but Aljamain just, dude, he looks shredded right now too. I don't think I've ever seen him look that yoked. Holy cow. Yeah, he's a good fighter, man. He's one of my favorites. Oh, you're actually bringing me one? We can crush him right now if you want to crush one. Let me finish this one.
Damn, making me slow down.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to take my time with this so we don't get so jacked up like we did on the last one.
But that's what makes it fun.
The last episode, we would get to the end of there and we were pretty gone.
No. I was still sober. I drove home. I had I didn't drink anything.
He was so gone that he thought pizza was beer.
What?
I'll have to put that clip on the internet for you guys.
What are you talking about?
What am I talking about? Dude, you got up, you walked to the kitchen, you said, "Hey, what's up with this beer, bro?"
Oh!
And I said, "What beer?" And you held up a piece
I remember that because I went to get another beer, and then I saw the pizza.
Dude, I was dying so long. I wanted to leave that clip in, but it was so late, so I had to cut that one out. I think I'm gonna make a highlight reel of some of the dumb shit that we do.
It?
No, not of you. There's only video of me reacting to it.
But the audio picks up.
Oh, the audio. I'm sure the audio got you. I don't remember. I had to cut some of this stuff out, but man, I'll put a highlight reel together, and that's definitely making it.
Just put that.
Because he legit says. So here's what happens: is like
all that shit can come out like at any time. Too.
Dude, no, it's crazy. He goes to the kitchen to put his beer away, right, or put his beer cans away. Something
and get a new beer.
And we had already finished the 6-pack at this point. We had finished the other 2 beers. I had some summer shandy in the fridge that we finished as well. He goes in the kitchen, and he's like, "Hey, what's up with this beer, bro?" And I'm like, "What beer, dude? We're all gone." And he's like, "This pizza." And I'm like, "What?" What the It was probably one of the greatest things ever.
Funk Master.
God, I wish we could.
Yeah,
he could get some
so
audio,
you know
man,
what?
because I want to hear this.
I think that he's on the short list, man. 135 and 125 need a champion right now.
Yeah, they do, because
So who
and with this win, this is going to put him back up there, because I think Dom Cruz will probably get another shot. He just buys the name and the fact that Dana loves him, he's getting a shot.
I mean, he's a company man, right?
He's a company guy. He'll take the fights.
It's the same thing with DC.
It sucks that he got hurt so much.
Yeah.
Because, dude, I think the injuries and the layoffs, and there is a such thing as ring rust. Cage rust and the MMA.
So he was my favorite fighter coming up in the early days of the 125, 135 division. He didn't go 25, but, in the 135
we got
division.
You know, the lighter guys.
The lighter guys. I'm a lighter guy. I fought from 125 up to 155. 155 was...
I do remember that 155 fight, because that was supposed to be 135, wasn't it?
No, it was supposed to be 145.
I thought you were supposed to be 135, and then he backed out. The next guy was going to be 145, and he backed out, and then finally you took a 155er.
Well, that was as an amateur. I was talking about my pro one.
Oh, yeah. No, I was talking about that amateur one.
I forgot about that one. But, yeah,
Dude,
I won
that
fight.
Crazy.
I won that minute 13 seconds.
I
TKO,
remember.
Baby.
Well, that guy, to be honest, was out smoking a cigarette right before the fucking fight.
No, he wasn't.
Dude, I saw him in the parking lot smoking.
Well, you know what? That's on him.
No, that is on him. That guy. That's what I'm saying. That's
that
on that guy.
reminds me of another one. When I won my title fight, there was a kid who was out. I thought this is what you're talking about. There's a kid who was out smoking a cigarette, right? And he ended up fighting on the card. And after he fought on the card, this is the funniest thing. After he fought on the card, he lost. He got his ass beat. And on the way to the parking lot, I'm walking out to the parking lot with all my stuff. He's walking out with his mom, and he's throwing a fit to his mom that the reason that he lost was because she didn't buy him a Monster energy drink. I told you I needed that Monster.
What? I've never heard that story. Bruh. Dude, these guys in some of these amateur shows crack me up, man. Like, it's cool. You're getting in there. You're getting in the cage because, a lot of people don't even fucking step in there. I've never stepped in the cage. I've never had a desire to step in the cage. But if you're going to do it, you don't need to be in this parking lot smoking cigarettes before you're getting in the cage. Like, that's just stupid, man.
All right, so you made a good point there, and it just popped something in my head. Absolutely not related to this, but I think the reason that I don't fight anymore is because I'm not as angry as I used to be. So, do you remember the whole reason I got into MMA?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, Yeah, how could we not know why? Like, I mean,
I wanted to be a killer. There was a guy.
It's one of those things, where
Yeah.
we came from a fucked up situation.
Yeah, there was a guy
Sorry,
who was
there's
really
another
abusive.
F-bomb. I know I've been trying to drop my F-bombs, but this is one of those times where fuck it, because
It happens.
the situation we came from really is what drove him into MMA.
Yep, it drove me into wrestling, right? So everything that happened in my life that led me to where I'm at this point was all because of this guy. As much as he fucking pisses me off, he had abused me and my brothers, broke a 2x4 over my back when I was a kid, drowned my brother in the bathtub till he passed out, our younger brother. Gosh, I don't know, he looks old. Cody Garbrandt looks like he aged a lot. It might just be the beard.
That's really weird.
It
dude.
might just
it's
be
the
the
beard,
beard,
but his
but-
hair's thinning on top too. Look at that.
Yeah.
That hair's
Gosh, I
thinning.
don't
He's
know.
looking like he's got my hair up there.
You look like you got
I'm
my hair.
33 years old. Look at this. I'm gonna take my head off. Look at
Oh,
this.
what the fuck? You can't. Your hair is less.
I mean, my
less
hair
down
actually
than
kind of
his.
looks good right now, but
Let's see what you got going on there. Holy shit.
I don't know where you get that wavy shit from, but
I don't know, but look at that hairline.
yeah, you see Skylar's hairline?
I know. Anyway, so back to that whole situation. So he abused us. All this stuff had happened. Raped my mom and choked her out and stuff like that. So it was a pretty
I
bad.
wasn't gonna say that, but
Oh, I don't care. I'll say it. The guy's a fucking piece of shit,
Mom might.
right? Well, mom wants him dead too. So,
This is true.
I
I thought Bart was gonna kill him.
was going to kill him.
Oh,
So my
yo,
whole
Chuck Norris versus Bruce Lee.
Chuck
one of
Norris.
the baddest fight scenes of all time.
Chuck Norris would have beaten him in real life.
Oh, in real life, absolutely.
And Bruce Lee knows it.
Chuck Norris even said I would have.
Well, and Bruce Lee said the whole reason that he wanted that fight to happen
So he
there
could beat the
because he wanted
champion.
to beat a world champion
For the camera.
for the cameras.
That fight right here on camera is what made Bruce Lee's legend so much bigger.
Yep.
It was smart marketing. The dude went to
Yes,
Washington
and this is
University
true.
of Washington.
This is true right
for
here. What
marketing.
they're talking about. This is true. What they're talking about. That footwork was a complete copy of the Muhammad Ali footwork that he was doing. So it's good that they showed
Oh,
that
well,
clip because
yeah.
it's true. But anyway, so back
Back to the story.
Back to that story. So that all that bad shit had happened, and I was angry growing up, man. I got in a lot of trouble because I was always mad and upset about all this bullshit that had happened.
I was an asshole too.
And I had followed him, and I saw the UFC actually because of him. Because when we were little and he was with Mom, he was the one who would get the UFCs, and that's where I first saw it. And I first started watching it. And I wanted to be one of those guys just so I could fuck him up. I wanted to destroy him.
Yep.
And then as I was getting older and older,
Right here where he kills him.
yeah, that's
He
a good
knows he
spot.
has to. It's so funny, dude.
It's a good spot.
That's
a
the
good
thing
movie.
with Bruce Lee, dude. So I love Bruce Lee. I am a huge Bruce Lee fan. Please don't tell me I'm not a Bruce Lee fan. But he was not a fighter.
No, he was a
Everyone
martial
wants
artist.
to say that Bruce Lee would fuck up Michael Jai White. I'm like, bro, Michael Jai White's 220, 230 pounds.
But we got to stop.
of
We got to stop
badass.
bouncing back and forth.
We do,
'Cause
but
that's gonna make for
they
hell when
keep
you
putting
edit
this
it.
shit up on here. I'm not going to worry about that. We're just going to let it go.
So then what happens? I'm watching the UFC, and as I'm growing up and I continue to watch the UFC from the time I'm a little kid, I start realizing that the wrestlers are the baddest motherfuckers out there.
Time out. Why on earth was Aljamain Sterling versus Corey Sandhagen not the co-main? Both dudes are ranked higher than Asunciao and Garbrandt.
Okay.
That's a little weird.
They just had the number 4 ranked guy on the early prelims.
Yeah, that's true. That's
The number
so
4 and
weird.
number guy.
Well, I think they
Or
had
they were
him-
the number 4 and number 9 guy. They were
You're talking about
against each other.
Sean?
No, I'm talking about the early prelims.
Oh, I didn't watch the early prelims.
Before all this, they had Jussier Formiga versus Alex Perez.
Yep.
Jussier Formiga is ranked number 4.
Alex
Perez is
whooped
ranked
that
number
ass,
9.
by the way.
So, like I said, if you fucking my video would have worked, I'll have to show you. If Alex Perez wins that
He did
fight,
film his picks prior to this. He had a little bit of technical difficulties, so he didn't get his picks on there, and he was too lazy to make his picks online.
Yep, pretty much. No, I mean, I just had a lot of stuff going on, but
Yeah,
you
no.
know, so
I'm fucking around.
the winner of that fight, I think, like I said in my pick, I think the winner of that fight potentially has the shot to go for that 125 title. It's open right now.
Yep.
They need a champion. Jussier is number 4, or was number 4.
Well, it's open because Cejudo retired.
Because Cejudo let go of the belt before he retired.
Oh, well, yeah, he retired and he
125.
let go of the 135 belt
Yes,
too, so that's why that's okay.
no, he
yeah,
had to
yeah.
let go of the 25 belt early.
When he went up to 35?
Not when he went up, but when he was going to
Well, he
defend
was the double
35.
champ
Yeah.
for a minute.
But then they were like, oh, no, you're going to defend the 35 belt. We're going to take that away.
The UFC does.
You know, it just depends on who it is and how big of a, you know.
Yeah. But now that he is retired, he's talking about switching over to boxing
I saw
and
that.
fighting Ryan Garcia.
I saw that.
I think Ryan Garcia will pick him apart. Dude, Ryan Garcia is a bad man. And that kid, he's one of my favorite up-and-coming boxers.
You know,
Have you watched Garcia fight?
Yeah.
Dude, that kid is good.
He's good. He's really good.
He's really good.
But the problem that I have with all of this stuff with it is you know, the MMA worked because I'm telling you, man, like I don't know what I'm gonna do with it.
I forgot that he had so much power.
That's what I was telling you. It's like, but anyway, so God damn it, now I forgot what I was saying.
I get you off track so much,
motherfucker.
It's great, man, because we're watching this on TV right here, right? And like, I'm just trying to go with what I see, but man. Anyway, you were talking about, you know, Henry Cejudo fighting Ryan Garcia.
Yeah. So wrestling plays well into MMA,
and then, but not well into boxing.
It's not going to play well into boxing.
And he's talking about boxing him.
And that's what my problem is you know what? It's cool. You want to try to go out and prove that you're the best combat sports athlete, period. I respect that. I do respect that.
Dude, if he beat Ryan Garcia, that would be the craziest thing
He's already
ever.
Proved that he's the best. He's already proved it, you know?
But can you imagine what his legacy... Like, no one would ever be able to touch that leg. Ever touch that leg. Like, I don't think there would ever be anybody to be able to three-peat, to be a boxing champ, a UFC champ, and a wrestling gold medalist. It would never happen again. I don't think it would ever happen again.
Aaron Pico's still young in his MMA career, and he's got really good boxing. He's got really good wrestling.
Pico pisses me off because that kid is young, and
he
the
just
way
doesn't have a chin.
But they built. I think they built him up too quick.
No, what I think that they tried to do is they tried to put strikers against him, knowing that he'd have the wrestling advantage, but he chose to be a striker instead of a wrestler.
No, that too.
That's what I think
happened. That could be it. But they definitely built him up like.
Hey,
he was as soon as he went into this Bellator, dude. He fucking. Oh, we crushing now. By the way, this Vortex IPA has 7.7% alcohol per volume. Fort George Brewing. Tastes delicious. Give it a shot. Crush that can.
Oh! Damn! That was lightning fast. And Asuncio looks good right before that.
Look at how he's ducked down and he's looking at it the whole time. Boom! Oh my God. Damn, dude. I told you he was going to win by knockout.
Damn.
Holy shit. I don't care. Age don't even play a factor. Anybody else is getting knocked out by that one. Dude, that thing was from the hip and fast.
Do you see how fast that was? Okay, this is for you people out there that don't understand
Look at Joe. Hold on.
Joe?
Oh, Joe's like dumbfounded. DC looks scared. John Anik is excited. Joe Rogan's like, oh, fuck, he's dead.
So just in case you guys don't know, force equals mass times acceleration. So you want to put as much mass behind it with as much speed as you can. And he dipped down to throw maximum mass behind it, and he threw it lightning quick.
Yo, he was against the cage, ducked down, literally ducked, and exploded all the way through with that right hand.
Damn.
God, that was savage. Mm-hmm. Cody fucking Garbrandt is back.
He's even got a bald spot happening in the back of his
He
head. And
does.
He's still knocking people out.
And he's only 28, right?
Well, stress is a motherfucker.
That's part of being a part of Team Faber after fucking TJ Dillashaw got bounced.
I don't think it's any of that. I think it's the stress of trying to be a world champion, right?
It was a joke.
Yeah.
Throwing shade at TJ Dillashaw because Conor McGregor called him out on the Ultimate Fighter.
Fool.
Look, they set him down and they let him go. They let go. Watch right here. They let him go.
And the ref walks away.
And he just falls.
Okay, I don't blame the ref for walking away, to be honest.
It's not the ref's job.
It's not the ref's job. He
doctor's.
stopped the fight. He did his job. Him walking away, he's fine. Let the doctors take care of it.
That's
but the doctors are fools. What fools? Never let him do another UFC again because they obviously aren't knowledgeable in combat sports or in brain injuries or anything.
God, dude, that was scary. When he started falling off the stool, man,
we're just going to hold your wrist and make sure you sit right here.
Dude, that was so stupid. We've had a buzzer beater and a walk-off KO. No, there's been 2 walk-off KOs. Let's just say that.
A main event, which is going to be explosive. Okay, so the main event's next then.
Yep, the main event is coming up next. We're almost done. This has gone pretty quick.
So here's what I'm excited about with this main event. this girl is tough.
She is. So
Amanda Nunes is
I
a
picked
monster.
Amanda Nunes because I love Amanda. She's
I love
the
her.
go to women's MMA. I said this last week.
She has to be.
But I've kind of watched this other girl, and
Although,
I've been reading about this other girl, Spencer.
She was a Invicta champion, wasn't it?
She is gonna be game. Yeah, Invicta.
And then
she is game.
And she can take a punch. You know, she was getting beat up by Cyborg when she fought, but she was never out of that fight.
No.
I mean, she was getting beat up, but it wasn't like anything was really, really, really hurting her really bad. No. You know, she was still in it, and she was still trying to
That's what I'm saying. She's game, dude. Like this fight's
too.
gonna
Look
be
at
crazy.
that. He's limping. He's hurt.
Yeah, he is.
Asunciao was doing good,
I think that's what Asunciao went in for.
Oh, he hurt his own foot. That's from him kicking.
Yeah, those kicks.
That's him kicking. He hurt his own foot.
Because Asunciao had him against the cage when he dug down. He was pressuring him. But that shit was crazy, man. Look at this. They're showing the replay of the knockout. He's got him against the cage.
He threw
Asunciao is being aggressive. But like I said, look at the eyes. I told you he was watching it the whole time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We replayed that back. I said that. I was like, dude, he saw this the whole time.
Yep.
Watch. Those eyes never leave. They never leave. He's got it there. He's up. He's up. He ducks. His eyes never left. They stayed there the whole time, and he's still looking at it.
Gosh, that was
And then he
good.
puts his hand up and walks off. Number 1, Cody Garbrandt, ladies and gentlemen.
So we may have our fight. We may have Aljamain Sterling versus Cody Garbrandt for the UFC title.
You think they're going to snuff Dom Cruz and take him out?
Why not? Dom Cruz is hard to predict.
He is hard to predict, and we don't know if he'll even actually be able to show up for the fight because he might get hurt in training again.
That's my point.
But do you think they may give it to Dom Cruz, or do you think they're going to put Sterling versus Garbrandt for the number 1 contender and then put it against Cruz? Because Cruz does get preferential treatment, let's be honest.
Well, okay, I wouldn't give it to Cruz for this reason. One, he lost his last 2 fights.
And he got knocked out in his last fight.
He lost his last 2. So you can't say, oh, he's number 1 contender. You know, he needs to fight another contender and prove that he's in that spot again.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm not saying Dominic Cruz. And Dominic Cruz is my favorite 135-pounder, to be honest. He is my favorite 135-pounder. But I don't think he deserves a title shot right now because of the lack of activity and the 2 losses. Cody Garbrandt came out, got an exciting KO tonight, right? Alex Perez.
By the way, they just put a stat up there. Eddie Wineland, who fought tonight, has 8 knockouts, that's the most knockouts in bantamweight history in UFC.
Yep.
Cody Garbrandt is now at 4.
So let's go back real quick. So Alex Perez, he wins tonight because...
He won tonight.
Why did he win?
Leg kicks.
Leg kicks.
He
beat
the shit out of his legs, dude.
So he finished the fight beating the shit out of him. So he had an exciting fight. Would you say that's an exciting fight?
It was a fun fight.
So it's a fun fight. So you go out there, you get a good fun fight in. You're the number 9 ranked guy, beat the number 4 ranked guy. So that should put you at least number 4.
Yeah.
Maybe number 3. Is it unheard of having a number 3 ranked guy go out there?
No.
Now you're gonna say
we got Rob Font.
but that was 125, wasn't that one? They were fighting. The other one they were fighting at 25.
Who?
Formiga.
Yeah, I think that was 125.
Alex Perez, 25.
Yep.
Okay, so that you may have contenders for both 25 and for 35 right now. The thing about it is the guys that are going to get shots right now are going to be the guys that are going to step up in the coronavirus time, right?
Absolutely.
These guys that are saying, "Oh no, I'm not going to fight because of the coronavirus," they're going to hurt themselves because the UFC is going to take care of the people that help take care of them.
Well, that's how they've always done it too. They've always taken care of their businessmen.
Well, that's why Daniel Cormier is such a big star, right?
Guys like Chael Sonnen. Chael Sonnen is probably the ultimate businessman, and we talk about Chael a lot here. We have a bias for Chael, but I mean, we bring these examples up because they're relevant. Chael.
He used to have his phone number.
Yeah, I know. But Chael fights anybody. He doesn't care. And if a company, if Dana White says, "Hey, Chael, I need you to step up to heavyweight to fight this guy," Chael will do it. That's the kind of fighter that Chael is.
He just entered in the heavyweight tournament in Bellator.
Yep. And he got knocked out, but he actually put up a pretty decent fight.
He put up about as good of a fight as Matt Lindland did.
Yeah, and Matt Lindland probably would have won that fight if
he didn't
Fedor didn't grab the ropes.
Yeah, by the way, that heavyweight that we were thinking of earlier that he
Fedor Emelianenko. I don't know why it just popped up, but in that fight, and that was in IFL. Matt Lindland.
No, it wasn't IFL. I'm
pretty sure it was IFL, dude.
No. It wasn't Invicta. It was in a ring.
Not Invicta.
No, or not Invicta, but it wasn't. It wasn't. No, Affliction.
No.
It wasn't Affliction. I don't think it was IFL.
I'm pretty sure it was IFL because they were in a ring.
They were in a ring.
And he grabbed the cage and
He grabbed the rope.
he grabbed the rope when Matt Lindland was taking him down. He literally wrapped his arms around the rope to prevent Matt Lindland from taking him down. Matt had him elevated.
And the ref is sitting there smacking the hand off.
And then he ends up reversing it after grabbing the ropes and then landing on top and finishing it.
The ref should have stopped it there once that happened.
Look that up. I think it was IFL.
Here's the thing. The ref should have stopped that because the ref had literally been smacking Fedor's hand. If you're going to smack his hand trying to say, hey.
But it's Fedor. He gets preferential treatment.
Because
some fighters do get preferential treatment. Let's be honest.
Because they weren't in America.
Was that one not in America?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't an American promotion. This is why I don't think it was IFL.
Let's see. Fedor right there.
Bodog fight.
Oh,
That's
Bodog, yeah. I forgot about Bodog.
Clash of Nations. See, it was in Russia.
Yep.
Right? I was like,
okay, that makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah, because I remember it, and I remember because Matt
But
Lindland
I do miss IFL. If nobody watched that one, go back watch some of the old IFL.
You know
that
what?
stuff was great.
I miss the IFL. When I was younger and I was in high school and growing
Lionheart MMA, Ken Shamrock.
Well, this is what I liked. One, they had teams, okay? They had teams, but the other thing I liked is these guys were salaried, right? So these guys had a contract where they were fighting. So I had, what is his name? Kurt Crawford. I had Curtis Crawford.
Oh, yeah, Curtis Crawford.
So Curtis Crawford was one of my striking coaches. And he was a boxer, kickboxer, and he was signed to the, were they the Tiger Sharks or were they the Sharks in the Seattle team?
I don't remember.
Well, he was on the Seattle team, so he was my striking coach, and he was getting $4,000 a month. $4,000 a month as a salary. Hey, you know what? If you're a fighter and you need to fight and you need to be able to train, having a $4,000 a month steady income is perfect for you. Not to mention you get your fight pay.
Yeah.
You got your fight pay. Then I had a buddy who ended up becoming a driver for the IFL, right? So when guys would show up at the airport, my friend would go pick them up from the airport and take them to the IFL. Okay. And then because of that, we got front row floor seats.
Yeah.
And we're at the Rose Garden, back when it was the Rose Garden. We're like front row sitting there watching my buddy Kevin Nguyen, and I can't remember who the other kid's name was. There was another kid with us, but we had front row seats and we watched. I got to watch this kid. He was a young kid, and I want to say he was out of Poland. His name was Chris Horodecki.
Horodecki, yes.
And
I remember Horodecki. That kid was was up and coming, man.
Oh gosh,
he looked good.
Man, that kid.
He was good.
That kid I thought was going to be potentially a world champion. I don't know what happened to him, but he fought Bart Palachevsky.
Yep, I remember that fight, dude. God, they had so many good fights, man.
So many good fights. And then, so they had team points, right?
Yep.
So they had team points. They tried to put this team atmosphere in. They had team points where at the end of the night, the person with the most
team
points
team versus
would win.
team.
Yeah, and
there's
then
5 fighters for each team, right?
Yes.
Was it 5?
It was 5 fighters, but they also had other fighters that were like preliminary fighters.
Yeah, they had some other stuff on the card too,
but then the coaches would also fight sometimes. So Matt Lindland had a couple of fights, and he was our Portland team. He was the coach of the Portland team.
Yep.
And it was awesome to watch. It was exciting. For me, it was great. Here's what killed IFL, in my opinion. And so just in case anybody wants to steal this team idea and get back to it, here's what I'm going to tell you. You have to put your full fight on TV. Nobody wants to see just the highlights on TV. They don't tune in to the UFC pay-per-view just to watch the highlights. They don't tune in to the UFC Fight Pass shows just to watch the highlights. And when the IFL was on TV, oftentimes they only put highlights of most of their fights. So nobody cared. Nobody cared. And nobody wanted to watch it.
Yeah.
Put the full fight on. We want to watch the full fight.
I forgot all about Bart Palachevsky until you said that guy.
Oh, gosh.
I forgot about Chris Horodecki, man. God.
Chris Horodecki was good, too.
Dude, they had some good fights, man.
Although he did, in one of his KOs, he grabbed that rope and he held that rope and he head kicked that guy like 3 times in a row. But the ref didn't stop it, so you know what?
It's the ref's job. But I like Lionheart, obviously, because Ken Shamrock. Mm-hmm. Not Lionheart. I kept saying Lionheart, didn't I?
You did keep saying that. That's all right, because I was a part of Braveheart, which became Brave Legion.
Yeah.
They got sued by the movie.
God damn it, what a joke. Yeah, I remember that. That's why they changed the Brave Legion, because they were Braveheart.
Yeah.
You were Braveheart.
Yeah, it was part of it. I mean, I wasn't Braveheart. I would
It
say
was
that.
you, Rick Story, Mike Pierce was there.
No, there was other people. I would say when it was Braveheart, I was probably like the least person. When it became Brave Legion, I was, I was training there and I was coaching a kids class there and all that stuff. But I wasn't like the main guy. I never even fought for him.
Really? I thought you fought while Pat was still
Nope.
under Pat.
I fucking couldn't stand him as a coach.
Is it true that he convinced Rick? Because Rick won fight night bonus on one of his fights, and the dude Pat made him like invest it all back into Brave Legion.
I think he convinced him to.
Convinced, not made him. I mean, it's kind of a tough word.
Yeah, because he took a lot of his fight winnings. He invested it back into the gym, Brave Legion, which was like a full fitness. There's a ton of weights and stuff like that. There was a
Didn't they buy out Gold's Gym?
Yeah, it was a Gold's Gym. Gold's Gym ended up moving into the mall. I don't know if it was different owners, but and then it was also something else before that. But the bottom line is the same building had been like 3 or 4 different like fitness clubs that had failed.
It did, yep.
And so Extreme Couture was actually there before that. So
that's right. That's right. I forgot Extreme Couture Vancouver.
Yeah, so Extreme Couture Vancouver was in that same location.
Yeah.
They left, and I want to say it was Mavericks Gym or something like that when it was Extreme Couture. They left, it changed hands, and the gym just kept changing hands. It became the Gold's Gym. And then it became Braveheart, which changed to Brave Legion because they got sued and all that stuff. But it just was never really a successful place. Now it's still going, and that's where Austin Springer's thing is now.
Oh, is that where he's got Vancouver Elite? Is it Vancouver Elite MMA?
Yeah, Vancouver Elite Martial Arts.
That's what it's called? Martial Arts?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it might be mixed martial arts.
I think but it's Vancouver Elite.
Yeah, something like that.
I think that's what it's called now.
Yeah, and Austin Springer does. By the way, Austin Springer deserves to be in the UFC. How
Dana
are you
White,
how are you going to tell me you're going to bring a guy into the UFC that lost?
Giga Chikadiza. I can't even say his name right. Giga
Chikdazi or whatever it is.
I don't know, but
here's the bottom line: Austin Springer beat him on
him
on your show on Dana White's Contender Series.
Finished him.
He whooped him.
Tapped him out.
He did. He whooped him. And then you're gonna bring Giga into the UFC and
he's got this kickboxing record.
He was a great kickboxer. That's cool. He got beat by a guy who's not a kickboxer, who's a wrestler with a mixed martial arts background that knows some kickboxing. That's what he got beat by.
I mean, yeah, there's no reason that Austin's not in the UFC when you've got look at some of the guys that are in the UFC. Yeah. Austin Springer's a guy out of Vancouver, so you can call his bias all you want, but that guy should be in the UFC.
Yeah, he should be in the UFC. He deserves to be in there.
He went on The Ultimate Fighter and tried out for The Ultimate Fighter and
against the guy that
that was 155 pounds, mind you, when Austin's a 145er. So he went up a weight class to try to do this.
He also was, not to mention, he also has a win in Bellator.
He does have a win in Bellator.
He has, I want to say, is it a 135, 145, and 155 title belt in other regional professional promotions. Also, on top of that, he's competed in mixed martial Ultimate Fighter. He was on the Ultimate Fighter.
He tried out for the Ultimate Fighter at 155
against the guy who went on to be a
class.
finalist.
Yep.
Chris Gutzmacher. Did Chris win it?
I don't know, but he's made appearances in the UFC since.
Yeah. So Chris Gutzmacher's in the UFC. How are you going to tell me that Austin Springer has not done enough to deserve at least a shot at one fight in the UFC?
Yeah, even on a prelim card. They had, what pisses me off is UFC.
Fight night card. Throw him on a fucking
UFC
fight night card.
had a fight night card scheduled for Portland before the pandemic started. We actually had tickets. I was really pissed off when they canceled it.
Yep.
But one thing that I'm not trying to tell Dana how to run a business. Obviously, they're worth $4 billion. They know how to run their business. My issue is that they didn't have. I think they didn't have
worth
maybe
whatever someone's willing to pay, right?
Maybe one Pacific Northwest fighter on the UFC Portland card.
I haven't talked to them in years.
Yeah, I don't know. But UFC Portland, how are you not going to try to get local fighters on that card? It's Portland. You've got Rick Story, who, he's retired,
he went on the PFL, and then
he broke his arm in that fight, and he ended up losing.
Yep.
In the finals, I think it was, or the semifinals on the 170 tournament. But still, But I mean, you could call Rick Story. I know he's retired. Mike Pierce was talking about Every time I've messaged him on Facebook, he's like, I'm not done. He's always teasing to come back.
Or how about you just pull in your local fighters that are signed?
Then you've got local fighters that are signed. You've got not Chris. You've got Ed Herman. You've got
Ricky Simone.
Paige Van Zandt, I think. I don't know if she's healthy right now. I think she did. It was
You've got
just
Chris De La Rosa.
Surgery. Michael Chiesa, he could fight.
There's at least 3 right there.
You've got so many Portland guys. How can you not just throw them on the goddamn fight?
Is Sam Cecilia in the UFC still?
Dude, I think he retired a long time ago.
I don't know, but
I'm pretty sure Cecilia retired in like 2015.
I don't know, but I liked him.
I don't remember. I haven't seen him fight in a long time. I did like Sam Cecilia, though.
We're friends on Facebook. Let me go see.
I'm pretty sure he retired in 2015. I haven't talked. Basically, it comes down to the whole point. You know, it's a UFC Portland card. If you want to sell, if you want to gate, put some Portland fighters on there, dude.
Listen,
that's it.
For the longest time, they talked about how when it came down to it, Team Quest was one of the best gyms in the world.
MMA.
In MMA, right? This was a long time thing, and it's still a long time thing, or it's still an ongoing thing. You know, we're still producing guys that are competing at the top elite level that are still regularly making it to the UFC. So how are you going to tell me? How are you going to tell me that we can't have at least one of? Oh, we got Journey too.
Journey Newsome.
We got Journey.
We talked about him last episode.
So you know, we got a lot of guys out here that are signed.
How are you not putting them on the Portland card?
And then you're going to complain.
Single one.
Then you're going to say, well,
they don't sell
UFC
very
doesn't
well.
Sell. Well, you know, you go to Brazil, what do? You put a bunch of Brazilians on there. You go to Russia, what do? You put a bunch of Russians on there. You go to China, you put a bunch of Chinese people on there, right? You go all these places and you put all these people on there from their area. You go to Canada, you put Rory McDonald, you put as many Canadians on there, you put GSP, whatever you can on there because you know it sells. And then you come to Portland and you're like,
we're going to put like everybody from around the world on there, but Portlanders.
Not a single Portland guy on that
card. Not a single
card.
Pacific Northwesterner.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you've got essentially 3 states if you're expanding the Pacific Northwest to Idaho. 3 states you can pull fighters from. And there's a lot of them in the Pacific Northwest that are signed to the UFC that could have been on that card.
There's several of them.
I mean, we got to look at things like, okay, are they hurt? They can't fight. Did they just fight?
Well, Ricky Simone fought like 2 weeks later than he would have fought?
Yeah, exactly. 2 weeks later. They could have put Simone on the Portland card. I don't know if maybe they didn't have an opponent for him, or maybe they didn't.
Or maybe Ricky said there was too quick of a turnaround.
Could have been.
It could have been.
There's a lot of factors, to be honest.
But how are you going to tell me you can't get at least one?
You can get one fighter on there. Ed Herman fought, I think.
Ed Herman's not turning any fights down.
No, you can get Ed Herman on there. That motherfucker will fight anybody at any time.
I love Ed Herman. He's one of my favorite people to talk to.
He's hilarious, man. That guy's great.
Yeah.
I worked with, when I worked at Fred Meyer, I worked with a guy who was friends with Ed's family. And he knew nothing about MMA. But he knew Ed Herman. And all he talked about, because he's like, oh, you guys know Ed Herman, huh? Ed Herman's great, dude. And he's like, I know Ed Herman, and he would just talk about Ed Herman nonstop. This is the funniest shit in the world. Because he knew nothing about what Ed Herman did, but he knew Ed Herman.
I like Ed Herman.
All right, we're about to start the main event. Here we go. Amanda looks ready. But let's see. Here we go.
So Felicia's tough. Felicia Spencer is very tough, and she's a champion from Invicta, if I remember right. So she knows how to fight, you know. And she went. What was it? The full 5 rounds with Cyborg. I want to say she went the full 5 rounds. So she went the full 5 rounds with Cyborg, and not many people can say that they've done that, you know.
She's got it. Ooh, good left from Nunes.
I don't think that she's fast enough.
No, I don't think that looks like she has a speed advantage.
Yeah, I don't think that she's technical enough, but she's definitely tough enough to take anything that she can be thrown at her.
She landed a good left there going in.
She's willing to get hit to give something, and she's always been willing to get hit.
She's already got a mouse under that right eye.
Yeah, well, you know, fighting other people versus fighting, you know, champions, and it's a different thing.
Oh, a good overhand right. Amanda Nunes, by the way. God, this is crazy.
She's good.
Amanda Nunes is just on a different level, man.
She's got Felicia backing up. Felicia's playing a little bit safe, but she's not. She engaged.
Ooh, a good uppercut to the left.
She engaged and then she got hit and she backed off. Felicia came at her hard. She got hit.
I said that mouse under her eye right there on that's from one punch.
Yeah.
Nunes is just a monster, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like how can you not like Amanda Nunes? I don't know. I'm sure there's people that don't like her, but the girl's just insanely good.
People who hate lesbians.
I guess. I mean, that's fair.
Those are the only people.
Oh!
Those are the only people in the world that don't like her.
She just took a huge overhand right, probably the same right that dropped Cyborg and ate it.
Dude, I'm telling you, she took a ton of Cyborg's punches. She can take a punch.
Yeah, Spencer can take a punch, and she's got the leg.
Like, she's gonna take it. She may get knocked out. Who knows? But it's gonna take a few. I think
I picked her to lose via knockout in the third. Ooh, nice sweep.
Gosh, that was good.
Damn, Nunes with the takedown. She reversed it. So Spencer was trying to take her down.
That's stupid by Spencer. She needs to let go of that leg. That's such a.
Yeah, why are you holding it? She's already got side
control. It's a low level. It's a desperation move. I'm not gonna let you mount me. I'm not gonna let you mount me. You know, it's the same thing that our JV kids do and our brand new wrestlers do when they're trying not to get pinned. They think that by hooking somebody else's leg in a similar fashion, it's gonna stop them from doing anything, and it doesn't.
Now she needs to just try to get up. But that was just a beautiful takedown by Nunes.
It was. It was a nice throw.
Spencer had her against the cage, was pushing, working for that single leg, and then out of nowhere, Nunes just tripped her with a judo throw.
It was beautiful. It was a really good throw. It's so funny when we say judo throw because there's like hundreds of judo
there's so many different
judo throw. Judo chop.
But think about it though. Austin Powers, hey baby, judo chop.
Oh, she's got the back. She's got the back. Oh no,
nah, she doesn't.
Felicia got her back to the cage and she's locked up the body.
She's kind of pulling guard now again.
Well, I mean that's her best bet unless she's gonna wall walk.
But now she's letting Nunes on. Oh, no. Back to half guard.
She wasn't quite in a position to wall walk. There was too much space, but she could have done what she's doing now, where she's
doing good,
back.
Right? Yeah, I like this. What I'm seeing from Spencer. Ooh, those elbows from Nunes are nasty though. This is good. This is good.
You know what's curious? What makes me curious is what weight do you think that she would really be at if she was in optimal shape?
Are you talking about Nunes?
No, I'm talking about Spencer.
Spencer?
And I don't mean it in a rude way because, you know, let's be honest, she's a little bit thicker.
She looks like a little bit bigger girl. Kind of like the Cyborg is. Cyborg had to cut 30 pounds just to get to 145.
Yeah, but she looks like she could easily make 35 if she really wanted to.
You think so?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think that she could. I think that she could lose. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with her.
It's a personal choice to go at 145?
I think it's more of a personal choice. I think that she's probably still big at 45.
Because Nunes is still the champ at 135, right? They didn't strip her.
Yeah, she's still the champ at both of them, and she's still defending both of them. But look at how thick she is. It doesn't look like she has, or it looks to me like she has the ability to go lower if she wants.
Yeah, she doesn't look like she's much bigger than Nunes, and Nunes is the 135 and 145 champion.
She just looks thicker.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like that it's
okay, we're in full guard now.
She worked back to full guard. Well, had one butterfly. She let go of the butterfly.
Nunes is just kind of working a little bit of ground and pound, trying to.
Nunes is just on another level.
Good. These elbows, though, dude. God.
But what I like is, you know, Spencer's still attacking. She's not out of it.
Yeah, they seem to not affect Spencer, but they're scoring.
She's tough, dude. She
is tough.
I don't know if I've seen a girl that can take the punishment that she can take.
Oh, she's going rubber guard.
Outside of JoJo.
Is she going for a fucking omoplata? Nope, she let go.
JoJo's the best.
Man, I tell you, JoJo Calderwood could get knocked out by a little girl and you'd still call her the best.
Would always be a fluke.
Look at that.
Hey,
boom! Look at that. That's what I'm saying. That same hand right there. That's the one that dropped Cyborg, and she ate it.
Do you know? I don't know if I've ever told you the story, how I even became to know who JoJo Calderwood was.
You talked to JoJo. I remember Ellie talked to her, didn't she?
She sent Ellie like a happy birthday thing.
Yeah, she sent Ellie, but because of you talked to her. You actually messaged her.
Do you know how I even got to know who she was?
I faintly remember because I remember you were talking about her when she was on, I think it was The Ultimate Fighter.
When they first put her on The Ultimate Fighter, I was excited about it because there was a thing that had happened beforehand. Dennis Hallman called me up to try to get me a fight in, I want to say it was like India or something like that. He tried to get me to go out there.
Yeah.
And I think it was like Super Fight League or something weird like that. I'm looking it up right now to see.
I don't know.
But anyway, the one that it was, he was trying to get me on it, and it didn't end up working out. And I was looking at the fight card, and as I'm looking at the fight card, I'm studying some of the people on there, and there was a fight between Joanne Calderwood and somebody else, and I had no idea who she was. It must have been Super Fight League 3, because that sounds about right, because look at that. She's got Super Fight League right there. Look at that. Super
Nunes,
fat
I'm
dude.
sorry, Nunes just that 1-2 is just beautiful, man. Like I'm sorry, that 1-2, dude. Like she just bop.
Gosh.
Nunes is on another level. Oh, I just don't see her getting beat.
It had to have been Super Fight League because
Unless this girl taps her out or fucking somehow lands a knockout shot, dude, she's not winning. Nunes is just.
You're early. You're early in the fight, man.
It is. It's only round 2, but
It's like I told you though. You know, she's
Nunes
tough. She's
is
not
crazy.
She's not as technical as Nunes. She's not as powerful as Nunes. She's just tough. Look at that. Tell me she doesn't look like she could potentially, if she really wanted
I mean,
to.
look. Well, yeah. I mean, not being mean, there's a little bit of flab there on her.
We're talking combat sports. There's weight classes. It matters.
She could. She's got some weight she could cut
if she wanted to.
If she was fit. Like if she got fit.
Like I'm saying, she's in shape. She's in shape. She could probably fight 25 minutes realistically if she really wanted to.
Oh yeah, no, she's not fat by any means.
No, it's not.
She's not out of shape either.
No.
But she does look like she has a little bit there that she could probably cut.
If she
down.
wanted, yeah, if she
another
wanted
10
to.
pounds, easy.
I think that if she wanted to, she could.
135, I agree.
Yeah.
Just looking at, I mean, I agree. And
Ooh, that was a
God
good
damn,
punch.
dude, I'm telling you, these punches will knock me out.
So here's the other thing, though. But we don't have a ton of strikers in 45 outside of Cyborg.
We don't have a ton of women fighting at 145.
We don't have a ton of strikers at 35 either. You know?
No.
I
think the best strikers in women's MMA, to be honest, outside of Nunes,
you got the
are at
Shevchenko
125.
sisters. You got the Shevchenko
Dude.
sisters. You've got Calderwood. You've got Joanna, former champion. You know,
JJ.
Yeah, you've got a lot of strikers.
Dude, I can't
That's
even
why
say.
Joanna champion.
Just say JJ. Joanna
No,
champion.
I just say former champion now. I used to just say Joanna champion.
I'll just say JJ because I can't say Jadurzik.
Yeah.
God damn it, I sound like an idiot.
Joanna, former champion.
Just JJ.
I call it former champion because, you know, so this is a shout out to the underground.
Hey, she's kind of cute, though, the weigh-ins, even though she doesn't look cute when she fights.
Yeah, but no, I'm giving a shout out to the underground. So if you look at our
MMA underground?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know what MMA underground is.
MixedMartialArts.com, the
MMA
underground.
underground, baby.
So on the underground.
God, dude, those fucking elbows are savage.
This is what we always called her. Joanna Champion.
Yeah.
Joanna Champion. Why would you call her something else? Her name, nobody can pronounce her name.
She wasn't beat.
She can't even say her name. She couldn't even say her own name. So how's anybody else supposed to say her name?
Right.
You know? She's tough. She was tough, but she's another striker. It goes back to what I'm saying. There's not a lot of strikers at 35.
And she's a great
and
striker.
At 45.
She's a really technical striker.
But Thug Rose outstruck her.
Dude, Thug Rose did. That was so surprising to me.
Twice.
I did not expect that to happen in either fight. I picked Joanna in both fights.
With that Lord's Prayer shit,
Fuck,
I was like,
man.
this girl needs to be in a mental institution. What the hell's wrong with her? And she goes out there and destroys it. And I'm like, dude, I feel like an idiot for saying that.
Right?
Yeah.
Dude, I could not believe Thug Rose, man. Shout out to Thug Rose.
You know, I've loved her because I've loved that whole Pat Barry story, right? With her and Pat Barry. I remember watching her fight in Invicta, and the only reason I ever tuned into Invicta was because Joanne Calderwood got pulled into Invicta.
Yeah.
You know, she goes out there and she armbars this girl, and she like freaks out, and she's so excited and she's so happy. And Pat Barry is on the outside, like freaking out. He's in her corner.
Yeah.
He jumps in the ring with her. They're so happy, and I'm just watching the emotion.
I think that was the first time I heard about it was from Pat Barry.
She had like shoulder length hair, and she looked like the type of girl that was just way too
spinning back fist.
She just looked like the type of girl that was way too pretty, way too beautiful to be fighting in MMA. And
dude, look at that. Round 1, 18-1 in significant strikes. 17-5 significant strikes. Nunes is up. What is that? 45.
She's smiling.
35. I don't fucking know. 18, 17.
Hey, cut this shit I'm about to say. But
what?
You think she wears the pants in her relationship?
He says, "Cut this shit I'm about to say." Hey, Nunes definitely wears the pants in that relationship. I mean, she'll tell you she wears the pants.
I would hate to try to be the other girl in that. I would hate to try to be the other girl.
Are you talking about the other girl in the cage or the other girl
in the relationship?
I mean,
how are you ever gonna try to win an argument against a world champion female? I mean, like, it's still domestic abuse, but it's a woman on women, so I don't care, right?
I mean, you ain't got to fight to fucking win an argument. You got to do it with your wits.
Well, yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
maybe her girlfriend's smarter than she is. I don't know.
So like, I'm not
they
saying
balance each other.
I'm not saying I fight with my wife, but I'm telling you that my favorite.
I mean, everybody fights. Let's fucking be honest.
We don't hit each other.
No, but we fight. Everybody fights.
We argued and stuff. But I'm saying, like, if it's like me and my younger brother, we're both cage fighters, Skylar. You know, we have this policy between each other where we fight it out. We don't like to talk it out. We fight it out. You've seen it. You know this.
Oh, I know this because Skylar was just here just recently trolling your ass, dude. Oh my God, that was the funniest shit.
He wasn't trolling my ass.
No, he was trolling you because he was sitting right here on the couch trolling the shit out of you over fucking his buddy.
No, he didn't, because he left my house pissed off.
No, he was sitting right here. It was so funny.
He left pissed off and butthurt.
He said he left pissed off because you wouldn't let him leave.
No, he left pissed off because when he
Skylar, you better watch this, share with your friends, and comment.
This is exactly what happened. He wanted me to wrestle his friend.
Right, and you guys did.
Wrestled his friend, and I beat him.
Yep.
And then his friend
Everybody agrees with that.
Yeah, and his friend goes, "Oh, well, if it wasn't because of the wall and that, then I would have gotten that takedown." And I was like, "Well, wait a second. Let's argue the position. You want to say that you would have gotten that because there was a wall that stopped you from being able to penetrate? Let's look at this. I wasn't able to sprawl out, was I not? You know, I can't sprawl out right there. So you're going to tell me you weren't able to finish a shot because of a wall when I'm not able to sprawl out and stop the shot. And this is going to be your argument? And this is going to be your argument is that oh, you can stop because of that? I was like, bro, I put you on your back twice.
Dude, these overhand rights from her are just fucking filthy.
I was like, dude, I put you on your back in less than a minute twice. I took you down right away. You know, and you're going to say all this shit, and you're going to run off and pissed off and crying about it because you're going to say, oh, no. You know, oh, no. Then they tried to say, oh, let's go again then. Let's go again then. I was like, I'll go again as soon as you admit the facts. Why the fuck would I wrestle you again if you're going to sit there and make bullshit excuses?
It was funny as shit.
No, that's what I said. I was like, hey, I'll go again as soon as you admit it. Don't fucking try to say that you would have gotten that takedown if there wasn't a wall. Because that would be just like me saying that you wouldn't have gotten that takedown because I'll sprawl out. And if you can, and so all I'm saying is I want you to agree on that.
Somebody lost a mouthpiece. Oh, yep, Spencer lost a mouthpiece.
So I was like, tell me that that's right or wrong. What do you think?
I mean, so far we're 3:25 left in the third round. I've got Nunes up 20-18.
She's
no 10-8 rounds so far. I mean,
no, not 10-8.
There's no 10-8 rounds. I mean, she's won the rounds decidedly, but they've not been 10-8s.
Felicia Spencer's just the toughest. Like, tough as nails.
Yeah, dude, I've got a lot of respect for her.
I told you, man.
Because, I mean, let's be honest, outside of Nunes, who else is going to beat her?
This is at one of the practice today. Holy shit.
Cyborg signed with Bellator, didn't she?
Cyborg already beat her.
Cyborg signed with Bellator, though. Didn't she?
I don't know. I don't know what's
I'm pretty sure it's Bellator.
But see, this is what we're doing, training. But I had
those are young. I thought you were training high schoolers.
We got high schoolers there. Dude, I train all the way from like preschool, all the way up through high school, and even a couple.
You
of
had
kids
other
wrestling
fucking
JUCO.
coaches with you there?
Yeah, we had one other coach there.
Ooh, she just missed that one. Got that leg. Oh, what a take! She just threw her down, dude. God damn! Now she's letting her up. Herb Dean says, "Hold on, all right, get up." What are you doing? Turn that off.
I'm pausing it because we're talking about it.
Okay, but look at this. Hold on, dude. God damn, Amanda Nunes is just taking this girl to school right now.
She's destroying her.
Dude,
I wouldn't say she's destroying her. She's picking her shots and landing them.
It's dominant. She's dominating her.
But it's not a 10-8, so I can't say it's destroying.
It's not a 10-8, but she's dominating. Like,
it reminds me very much of the exact same thing as the Cyborg fight.
Yeah, you're getting beat up, dude. You're just not doing much. You're surviving. Because she's able to eat these shots. This girl can eat these shots. Here's the thing.
Felicia Spencer's going to probably beat 95, 97% of the females out there that she fights.
Let's see her drop down to 35 and see what she does.
Well, let's see.
Dude, I think I'm interested in that.
Let's see. I just don't know if there's a lot of girls that can handle her
grit. God, look at that right. Dude, that snapped her head.
Yeah, and it doesn't phase her.
No, she fucking acted like it didn't even touch her.
She's like, that's all you got? My husband hits me harder than that. I'm just kidding. I don't know anything about her personal life.
Oh, she's shooting for the takedown. Not going to get it, dude. You're not going to get it. No, you just, ooh. God damn, dude. I think she realizes that she has no chance. She needs to go balls to the wall right now. Because there's a minute left in this round, and she's down 3-0, essentially. Yeah.
Unless she does something big in this
30-27 so far.
She has to steal this round.
Significant strikes. 66 of 116 for 57% for Nunes. 17
of 69.
Of 69.
Ooh, that was an uppercut.
For Spencer. Dude, this has just been bully beatdown almost. You remember that show?
I remember that show.
Bully beatdown. That's what this reminds me of.
I'm
not saying that Spencer's a bully, but I mean, it's just where you get a non-fighter, dude, somebody's a bully in there, and they're fighting a fighter.
You throw
and
a pro against somebody who doesn't know anything.
Yeah.
Right? But you know, the thing is,
Spencer
Felicia
knows
something.
She's just tough.
But this is the difference between being just a pro and being a champion.
She's
right.
Dude, Nunes is the epitome of a champion.
She's exactly what it is.
God, that uppercut, man. And she didn't even phase her.
Gosh, dang.
Didn't even phase her. What the hell?
Yeah, Felicia Spencer, I was telling you beforehand, she is tough.
That back spinning back elbow.
And she goes, that was good.
God
that was
damn.
good. Okay, so I got a question for you, and I want to know your thought. 145-pound women's division, 125-pound men's division. If you're gonna get rid of one,
145 women.
Women. So
you know why? I'll tell you why. Hold on, because that division was literally only created for Cyborg. They were not going to create the 145-pound women's division.
It was a guilt weight class.
Cyborg tripped him into it, because Cyborg signed with the UFC. So, like, here's the deal. When Cyborg signed with the UFC, she signed with the agreement that she was going to get down to 135 pounds to fight Ronda Rousey. She tried. She could not make 135. So they tried to 140 it.
Well, did she sign? Wait. Didn't she sign after the failed attempt? I thought she had cried
she
on
might have
video.
She might have. No, that was while she was on contract.
I thought that was beforehand.
No, that was while she was on UFC contract.
Okay, that might be wild, but I thought it was before.
So then they ended up creating the 145-pound division for her. They literally did this for her. And, you know, the rest is history. I mean, she won the 145-pound title. She defended it, I think, once, twice?
I don't know. I don't even
remember. She beat the chick that beat
Holly Holm.
Holly Holm. She beat Holly Holm.
Gosh, this is about over. It's about over.
It's got to be over.
There's only so much body. There's only so much punishment.
She shot for another takedown and didn't get it.
She's rolling through.
She's trying to, but
Herb
she's taking
Dean's
it.
right there. Herb Dean's watching.
Ooh, she's got the back. She's got
the back, and it's locked in.
Oh my God.
Oh, she fought the handoff though. She's gonna switch the grip. No, she can finish that. Amanda Nunes can finish that.
She can finish it. She's pulling.
Wait.
Did she tap? I didn't see a tap.
Did she tap or did we run out of time?
I didn't see a tap. I wonder if that's time because, look at that fucking hematoma. Whew. Oh my God. That is gnarly.
That reminds me of the time I hit Skylar in the head with the golf club.
How about that chick that had the chicken leg on her head? You remember that?
Yeah, but do you remember when I hit Skylar with the golf club?
Yeah, I mean, I remember it, but I don't remember what he looked like. I remember hitting you in the back with a jawbreaker.
Yeah, I remember that too. And I remember you making your own blow dart gun with tacks, and you shot me with that.
I shot myself with that too. Because the first time I shot, I fucking had my finger over the hole.
No, that was when you were running after me.
I don't remember. I remember I had my finger over the hole, and I shot it, and it hit my finger. I fucking freaked out.
So no. What happened? Because Chris Godwin was there, right?
Yep.
So what happened is I was standing there. I didn't have a shirt on for whatever reason, and my arm was
just
up.
Being an asshole at that
my
point.
arm was up like this.
and
then,
in the rib.
Yeah. You shot me in the rib, and I'm like, why the fuck are you shooting spit wads at me?
Yeah, he's straight up said, he's like, dude, that's fucking gross. Why are you shooting spit wads? He looks down, and he's got a tack stuck in his fucking side, and he starts freaking out. Dude, you freaked the fuck out.
I was ready to fucking
As soon as you saw that it was
what
a tag.
the fuck is going on?
Oh my God, it's the funniest shit ever. Because you thought it was a spit wad.
And I was fine.
You saw it was a tag.
I was like, dude, you're a fucking asshole. Why do you shoot a spit wad at me? You shot a tack. The thing is, the tack was entirely inside of me.
Oh,
all the way.
Inside of you or
inside
of you?
It was entirely inside of me.
But yeah, it was inside.
The whole thing was inside up until the spot that smashes into it. It was all the way inside of me, and I looked down and I freaked the fuck out.
Yeah, it was
and I
bad.
was like, what the fuck?
Dude, we're in round 5. I can't believe Spencer's lasted this long, dude.
She's tough, man. She can
you
take
know,
a beating.
yeah, we said it before. You know, she is tough. She's got a single leg she's working right now, but she's not going to get it. Nope. Okay,
it's not even really a single leg, you know, and this is a spot that drives me nuts with wrestling, right? So we have this move, the high crotch, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it called a high crotch? You're right? I call it a high crotch because you shoot it high in the crotch.
Well, yeah, you're elevated up on the legs.
Right? So now they have this high crotch that a lot of people call it down here, where they're snaking the leg, which means you're wrapping your hands around the leg, the low leg part. That's not a high crotch. That's a head.
No,
that's a head inside low single, in my opinion, or a head inside single.
Well, that's why I called hers a single. I mean, even then.
Yeah.
She had the leg. It was a single leg. She had one leg.
You know, in the world of wrestling, terminology changes depending on where you're at, right? So, like, we had a move out here that we always called the bump, we always called the chop and chug, right? It's from referee's position. You're on top. As soon as the whistle blows, you chop the arm, you pull it in, you grab the cross wrist, and you drive with your feet forward to break him down. Chop and chug. You're like a train chugging on a track right there, right?
That's good defense right now.
Well, she does weird stuff. It
is really weird, but she's defending well. I mean, Nunes can't do anything from this position right now.
Nunes got to defend her arm, but she's going to pop out here in about 2 seconds here.
Yeah, she's not going to take that.
But yeah, so we had the chop and chug, and then, you know, one of the coaches I started working with later, they called it the bump and run. The bump and run, you know, or the bump and chop and stuff like that. So,
I get that from football.
You know, you get that thing where it's off the whistle. You drive with your, you know, his idea is you're driving forward off the whistle. You bump and run. You bump into him, put that weight heavy on him. You chop the arm and you go forward. It's the exact same move as a chop and chug, but a different name. So, depending on where you came from, and he came from.
God, she is bloody now. All of a sudden.
He came from Illinois. Yeah, she is. I don't even know what made her bloody. Maybe one of them
elbow.
Something like that.
Yeah, Nunes has been throwing fucking gross elbows, dude.
See, Felicia Spencer's just too tough for her own good. And Herb Dean, you know, this is why it would be hard to be a ref.
There's a lot of fighters like that, though. They're just too tough for their own good, where they just get the shit beat out of them. And you can't, you know, they're still standing. So if you're a ref, it's like, do I stop the fight? But they're getting the shit kicked out of them. And it goes down to, you know, we talked about it last week. We talked with Tony Ferguson. He's too tough for his own good.
Yeah.
He got the shit kicked out of him, but he was still standing.
Well, I think I said last week, you know, my goal is to go out there and fight to win or die, right?
It's like when Conor fought,
it's my corner or my ref's job to protect me.
Exactly. It's like when Conor fought Floyd Mayweather.
Well, that was a good stop.
No, it was a good stop, but Conor, being a fighter, what he said afterwards is, you know, let me go out on my shield. I didn't even get knocked down. He didn't get knocked down. And he said, you know, let me go out on my shield. There's a lot. That's how you know you're a real fighter, in my opinion. Real fighters, they fight to fight. They want to go, like, if they're going to get beat, they want to be beat.
Whoa, they're stopping it for the blood.
Yeah, they're checking that blood.
Checking it.
Real fighters want to get beat. They want to go out on the shield. They don't want to just... If they're still standing, don't stop the fight. That's how a real fighter feels.
Yep. No,
I mean, does that make it a right decision or not? I don't know, but...
I would say that I've seen some brutal knockouts where the dude never fell to the ground. And
yeah.
I, in fact, remember when I won my title fight, the guy never went down to the ground.
Yeah, no.
Every time he tried to drop down, I uppercutted him back up. Mm-hmm. Remember that? So, you know, and then his corner threw in the towel, and the ref stopped it at the same time. Right? So it's the ref's job, and it's your corner's job to protect you.
Is that Nunes' blood coming out of her left eye?
It might be
looks
a
like
little
a little bit of Nunes blood right there.
It might be a little bit, but you know, you're fighting. She's 24 minutes into a fight. If she hasn't been hit at least once, has she really been in a fight?
But I'm wondering if it's her blood or if it's just Spencer's blood.
No, she's got bleeding. That's hers.
That's hers.
That's hers.
There's a little bit coming out of her nose too. Spencer's landing some shots.
She's landed a couple. She's landed a couple.
God,
elbows
see, look
inside,
at this is round 5, and she still looks like round 1 with the way she throws those punches.
She's able to conserve her energy. She doesn't have to explode. She knows she's in. And she knows she's...
Look at how she drug her down right there.
You know, like, so here's the thing. What I want to see is her at 100%, because I don't even feel like she's putting 100%. And what I mean by that is when
talking about Nunes?
Yeah. Because here's what I'm saying. when I'm
Dude, that's game. That's game
That's
right there.
game.
That's
game.
50-45, Amanda Nunes all the way.
All the way. So let me finish
What
this
a
thought.
fucking performance.
Let me finish this thought. When I'm doing what we call flow wrestling, some people call it sparring and other stuff like that, or even when I'm sparring in MMA, I could go for an hour. I could go for maybe an hour and a half.
That's vicious.
You know? But I'm not going as hard as I can. I'm not exploding into everything trying to finish the person in front of me. You know, we were just doing this today. We had a wrestling practice today right before this.
Both eyes too.
Right? Yeah, she is. She's whooped.
Man, she got beat up.
We had that practice today, and then we were doing this thing. We were doing the flow wrestling, the sparring, and you just kind of get to see how it works, and it's fun. You know, it's not like anybody's trying to kill anybody or anything like that, but we're going after it. We're doing our techniques, and we keep moving.
Dude,
to me, watching Amanda Nunes wrestle or fight, she looks to me like she's flow wrestling right now. She's smiling and enjoying herself, and she hasn't even gotten to the point where she's like, "Hey, I'm gonna show you what's 100%."
Look at these punches.
So that was earlier.
Yeah,
that was when the mouthpiece came out.
But look at this, to the body, beautiful, dude. Can we just say, Amanda Nunes is the women's MMA GOAT?
GOAT. She's got to be right now.
Where would you put her pound for pound though on the list, on the pound for pound MMA list? Because she's done it now multiple times at 135 and 145, multiple times.
Well, if we're gonna look at this and we're gonna say pound for pound.
How do you judge pound for pound?
This is my problem.
That's how do you judge pound for pound?
This is my problem right here. Okay, so it's a tough question to ask. I will tell you, she's got to be top 3.
She has to be.
She's got to be top 3.
Because the way I do pound for pound, so a lot of people will do pound for pound based on, will this guy beat this guy if they fight? My thing is, you can't do that, because if you put Mighty Mouse up against a heavyweight, obviously the heavyweight's going to win.
Well, and that's the hard. Well, maybe
99.9% of the time. I mean, there's a small chance that Mighty Mouse could somehow magically win that fight.
I'll tell you what, Mighty Mouse. No, here's the thing. It's not a small chance. Mighty Mouse takes his back, he chokes him out. That's how you win. That's how you win. I'll tell you, dude. When I was wrestling at Clackamas Community College, I wrestled JUCO, 1 year JUCO. My roommate was a heavyweight. He took second at state.
Are you talking about
Kyle Stoltz?
Okay, yep.
So,
Stoltz.
He would get pissed because I would just fucking torture him when we were in our hotel or in our apartment. We had an apartment together. You know, I'd literally just punch him. I'd do stuff, and he couldn't do anything to me. Wow.
Amanda Nunes is some classic motherfucker, man. She let her hold the belt, like, out of respect. Like,
wow.
It wasn't showboating or nothing. Amanda Nunes is just on another level.
I love Amanda Nunes.
Dude, she's one of my favorite fighters of all time. This girl, dude, she's just phenomenal.
I mean, crazy, so I'm putting her at 3.
So who would you put ahead of her on the pound for pound?
Henry Cejudo and John Jones.
Okay.
Those are the only 2.
My issue with putting John Jones pound for pound is we've never seen him outside of 205.
Okay, but we also have seen Daniel Cormier.
Yes.
And they try to tell us that Daniel Cormier potentially could be
But Daniel
one of the top
Cormier
guys.
at heavyweight is not the same, because cutting weight does affect your performance.
Well, it depends.
It does.
It depends. When you're a heavyweight,
because he's only lost one time at heavyweight.
No, when you're a heavyweight,
and that was
it used to make me mad because I would go into a wrestling practice with sweats on, with plastics on, and doing all this stuff trying to lose 4 or 5 pounds in a practice.
Yeah.
And on a light day for a heavyweight, we'd have our heavyweights losing 10,
DC
10
was
12
a
pounds.
thicker heavyweight. He wasn't one of those guys, because he's only 5'10".
No. He wasn't even a thicker heavyweight. So 10 to 12 pounds.
No, I meant in terms of like he would bulk out this way.
Yeah, he would bulk out that way. But then here's the other thing. Look at the heavyweight champions. The best heavyweight champions have all been around.
They're all about 235,
240. God damn, it's like we're brothers or something.
Hey, I know. Hey.
So they're all about 235, 240. We should call it Crushing Cans. That would be dope.
Then we'll crush cans and cans, yeah. Maybe after we're done, we'll crush a can.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Yeah. So most of the heavyweight champions are around 235, 240, somewhere around there. They're not exactly like heavyweights. The limit is 265, right?
Yeah. I mean, outside of Brock Lesnar, who had to cut weight.
Yeah, but he was also on steroids.
Oh, yeah.
So let's say he's a normal human being. Let's say he's not somebody who does steroids forever.
I mean, he's
a big guy
in college.
He was a heavyweight
because he was a collegiate champion.
He was
Minnesota, I think, is where he wrestled.
He was in Minnesota, and I don't think he was a champion. I think he was a runner-up.
Did he not win at Minnesota?
Yeah, I want to say he was a runner-up.
I don't remember, but he wrestled lighter. He wrestled a lot lighter than he fought.
You know,
say that.
He
Dude, goddamn, look at the statistics, man. Amanda Nunes landed 120 significant strikes versus 36 significant strikes.
And what I respect about Felicia
she landed
Spencer,
6 takedowns in 7 attempts. Spencer landed 0 out of 7 attempts.
Yeah.
This was just a beatdown, 100% beatdown. 50-45, Amanda Nunes, man, she's the go to women's MMA. I don't care who the fuck you are, argue with me. If you don't agree, comment.
All right, here's the deal.
Tell me why you don't agree, and I'll fucking debate you in the video.
Here's the deal. Pay her like you pay guys.
No, yeah, oh, fuck yeah. So, women's MMA, dude, that's another thing. So, we've had a lot of societal issues come up lately, right?
He was big, but he wasn't that big.
No, he was big, but he was not 265.
No.
Amanda Nunes definitely deserves
Although
to
in
be
that
paid
picture, he looks
like John Jones,
although,
like Conor McGregor. Dude, Jesus Christ, he's got muscle on his muscle. What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's in Minnesota? Is it Minnesota? Was I right?
Yeah, it was Minnesota.
Okay, I fucking thought it was Minnesota. But yeah, Amanda Nunes,
look,
man. Dana White, pay that woman. Man, that woman deserves to be making...
Sorry. That's the difference right there.
Yeah, for sure.
You know...
She deserves to be making money, man. Well, I'm Colin Thomas, and this is my brother,
Jake Thomas.
and you're watching Crushing Cans Podcast.